Wow, how you doing, guys? 6 minutes. 7:50. Wow, that's a long time. Let me turn the volume off here so I don't echo on myself. Good to see y'all, Max Vision. Good to see you, Scotty boy. I don't know how many people will get in today, but we'll have some fun anyway. So, time for a smudgeoning. Maui fires looking 100% sus, same old shit. They're blocking aid from coming in. Local news are being blacked out. People are saying the number of deaths are way higher than reported. Yeah, I was just watching another video on giant space lasers that they're using. It's started. Well, what they had was fires starting within 4 minutes of each other. Five of them, I think. It was about five. And they all started in a nice little neat little kind of a curved row, one after another. So the laser was pointing there and giving its beam time to start up a fire, moving on to the next one. And continuing its job just in the U.S. Yeah, that was the same thing in the Canadian wildfires. Hit that likes button, guys. See you, James. Canadian wildfires, they wouldn't let the people back in to save their homes, even though many of them knew that they could have. They weren't, people were stuck outside the fire zone with police and fire just sitting there waiting for the place to burn down. So, yeah, they definitely want these fires to continue. And like I said, even if we do manage to put out some, there's always the firebugs going along. And if it's not firebugs, it's bloody space lasers. You know, we caught a few of the firebugs. I don't know why they didn't use just the space laser. I would have. I don't know if it would have been a scene or if people would have seen it more. But you'd figure with all the cameras we have now running around starting fires yourself, it's probably not the best way to go. You know, because we did catch so many of them. Let's see. So let's check email here. Exactly, James. It's so predictable. It's what they tell you too. Like, you know, if you, if you just tell me what you want to do and then you go ahead and do it, and you know that we're not going to be into it, but you're doing it anyway. You know, like, I don't know how people don't catch on. It's it's so simple and stupid. Still not getting any. Can't wait to get the other channel back. Then I can just use StreamYard to view your chat. I have to go all over the place right now, switching tabs. Let's see what recent area. I think it was the Rose sent me something last night. Looking for a backup link. Okay. Nope, nothing there. was didn't do too much on Mark the Arc Spark there. He sent me a. We touched on it. We looked at it for a moment. Rob Schneider questions 2 billion GMOs being released by EPA. I'm sure government and Bill Gates have our best interests in mind. That was by InfoWars. Hey, Alex, good to see you. Yeah, I didn't notification. I can't because I got a strike and I'm using StreamYard through my other one, and I had to use it not through YouTube, the YouTube link they offer. So I don't get the chat in StreamYard. YouTube playing? Oh no. Well, don't forget to leave a comment in the video, guys. And here's the link if you want to pop up, Alex. Let me mod you there. Hold on. I have the 15-second delay on. Drove Scotty nuts. Why can't I? Oh, okay. Let me switch accounts here. There we go. Oh, is Mark here? I don't. Oh, yeah, there he is. So, Scotty, what puke number are you on? You get the notifications when I put them out? Wow. Most people don't. Got to 1,200 viewers on this channel, and they still don't go out, you know? It's a horrible, horrible shit stream. So I thought that, let me go back. Show. Huh. Oh, well, maybe she'll come in. Oh, here's a good one that she sent me. I haven't looked at yet. Let's take a look. This is on the mud floods. Kind of an interesting thing. Interesting video. Got the volume up there.
I want to be thorough and explain all the events of the 1812 era for anybody that's never heard of it. And everybody that already knows the basics and wants to get to the really crazy stuff that I've never found anywhere else,
Yeah, you are top
then I'll
tier.
put a timestamp on the screen and you guys can skip to that. This really all started with the 1783 Lockheed eruption. And this is all that happened in this time frame that any other source other than that magazine I'm about to get to lists. And a survivor from Iceland said those people who did not have enough older and undiseased supplies of food to last them through these times of pestilence also suffered great pain. Ridges, growths, and bristles appeared on their ribs, the backs of their hands, feet, legs, joints. Their bodies became bloated, the inside of their mouths and gums swelled and cracked. And this offed half of the cattle stocks and a quarter of the sheep and horse. The air and all the supplies were tainted. A few months later, Europe had a strange haze over the sky that made people have difficulty breathing. And this ash cloud absorbed the sunlight and the moisture, changing the climate for years, they say. But I've heard a lot of instances after eruptions where there's a dry fog and it won't rain and the air is stifling and stagnant. This in part led to the French Revolution. Ships were moored in many ports, fog-bound, crops were affected, and it coincided with an abnormally hot summer. First-hand accounts say the sun at noon looked as blank as a clouded moon and shed a rust-colored ferruginous light on the ground. At the same time, the heat was so intense that butcher's meat could hardly be eaten on the day after it was killed, and the flies swarmed, so in the lanes and the hedges they rendered the horse half frantic. The country people began to look with a superstitious awe at the red, luring aspect of the sun. Wow. So all of this led to starvation, economic depression, civil unrest, and eventually revolution. This was even written about by Benjamin Franklin, a high-ranking Mason and close personal friend and ally of the French aristocracy. Franklin was notorious for attending orgies and houses of ill repute while getting his neighborhood. He was in America when this happened. All of the so-called sophisticated cultures were very well connected at this time. That was the late 1700s. We're going to fast forward to the 1812 era and start with Tecumseh's eclipse and comet. Tecumseh was a famous Shawnee rebel against the United States Gov, and his name even means shooting star. They'd often name their children off of what they saw on the day of their birth. They give his birthday around 1768, so there was stuff going on in the sky at that time. Any questions to whether or not he was a real historical figure? There's all of these towns named after him. But 1806, there was a solar eclipse, and then in 1811, there was Tecumseh's comet that was visible for 260 days. So while this big comet was up in the sky, the New Madrid quakes happened. And they say that these are the longest, most destructive ever, but I've actually shown much more for the 1300s. But all that's covered up. But these were huge, and they continued from December 1811 through February 1812. The ground rose and fell, bending trees until their branches intertwined and opening deep cracks in the ground. Landslides swept down the steeper bluffs and hillsides. Large areas of land were uplifted, and still larger areas sank and were covered with water that emerged through the fissures or craters. It's a liquefaction. But this area was sparsely populated at the time and not many man-made structures. Huge waves on the Mississippi overwhelmed many boats and washed others high on the shore. High banks caved and collapsed into the river. Sandbars and points of islands gave way while whole islands disappeared. Wow. Only one life was lost in a falling building at New Madrid, but chimneys and log cabins were thrown down as far as Cincinnati, St. Louis, and many places in Kentucky, Missouri, and Tennessee. This whole area of Reelfoot Lake subsided between 1.5 to 6 meters, close to 20 feet. So this whole lake was created by this. This in eastern Arkansas sunk as much as 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Coal and sand were ejected from fissures in the swampland next to the St. Francis River. Large waves were also caused on the Mississippi River by fissures opening and closing below the surface. Additional uplift deformed the northwest corner of the Tiptonville Dome. Now, this is reported to have rang church bells all the way up in Boston, so that's still a pretty good earthquake all the way up there, and it was felt as far south as Peru. These big events caused lightning from piezoelectricity, and then there were even reports of ball lightning being seen. Wow, I can't believe I've never connected these dots before, but I just saw this photograph showing what it did to the landscape, and all of the Ozark Mountains look that way. I've hiked all over these mountains, and there are all kinds of sinkholes and depressions and embankments, rock outcroppings, caves, and what's called shut-ins like this. And I grew up right next to Grand Gulf State Park, this huge sinkhole. This is the view looking down from standing up top. And, we used to go in that cave. It doesn't go very far, but there's a natural bridge with land still attached over a big, huge open cave. This used to be our smoke spot. But wow, I never thought about most of this was probably formed during that event. That's awesome. I'm going to have to shoot some video next time I take Ruckus out. But yeah, this was a level we can't even imagine today. You know, huge tracts of land sinking and rising and changing the course of rivers. That circle part that used to shoot straight through right here. All this while Tecumseh's comet is in the sky. Comets are related with a lot of these events. And the events I just described were times 10 in the 1300s event and worldwide. That comet was even buzzing like a trumpet as it flew through the air, where 1812 was just the areas surrounding New Madrid. All of this happened, by the way, in the Dalton Minimum, a period of decreased sunspot activity. Some will dispute the very existence of
Okay.
sunspots, but if I had reinvented the telescope
Well,
off
it's
of some
relevant to
old
today
Indian
because
texts, which
they are
Galileo
popping off
probably did, I'd take a piece of
volcanoes.
stained glass
Like
and
there's the Tonga.
have a look at the most important life-giving, heat-giving
And what they
object
did
in the
after
heavens.
is
Even long before that, there's reports of sunspots so big that they could be seen with the naked
after
eye.
these
This is not the
sunspots
end-all
in
be-all
Peru
of
and
cyclical
the
disasters, but every time this is observed to happen, a
comet,
bunch of crazy stuff pops off. Next on the list
they
is the
they went to war.
1815 Mount Tambora eruption
They
that caused
decided
the
to
year
try
without
to
summer.
invade
And let me
Russia,
tell you, Indonesia is not the place to be during one of these cycles.
U.S.-Canada
I
war.
probably couldn't find it now, but I
There was all
remember
kinds of
reading
wars
that
going on
Java,
at
the
that
island on
time.
the right, used to be connected to Sumatra and got split in half in a single event. Then you got places like Borobudur that were either buried in ash or found in rubble when Europeans first found out about it. They date this at around 1000 AD, but I think it was the 1300s, just like everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
But Wired magazine reports that Mount Tambora was the largest recorded eruption in human history. It's the largest they'll let you know about.
Yeah.
But within 4 years, the largest seismic and volcanic event
Oh, that's a mile
happened,
across.
according to some sources. Over 70,000 perished directly due to the event, and no telling how many from the after effects.
And it makes me wonder if these volcanoes are still going on.
And wow, even Farmers
Are there
Almanac
still
is telling
viable
people about GSM, which reminds me, I got to get a new
dragon
Rumble
eggs
up
still
because
out
the
there?
scientists aren't telling the mockingbirds what they want to hear. This caused the year without
I knew
summer,
World Order
where
Pizza.
a lot of people
I don't
did starve,
recognize you.
especially like American settlers at the time,
I don't think
and
I've
a
seen
lot
you
of
in chat
peasants in the
before.
cities. But the
So
more
everyone say
well-to-do
hi to New
people
World Order
just
Pizza.
had to pay more money.
I think that's what it is.
Vermont, for example, saw a decrease of 10 to 15,000 people out of a population of about 215,000. So that's about a 5% decrease. A lot of livestock was lost, and they had to reinvent the velocipede or the bicycle again from old Indian texts, evidently. Those guys thought of everything. Even the character of Frankenstein was invented because Mary Shelley was
When
stuck
you
in a
have
house during
100
all these
plus,
storms,
yeah.
watching all the lightning. So this is all easy to find information. What's in here is the only place I've ever heard of all this stuff, and it adds to all that. But I wonder how many people have commented so far saying, nope,
Yeah, I
it's all
hope you brought
fake.
enough for everybody.
Probably not too many people, because people use this all the time to say that there was
Oh,
a complete reset 200 years ago. So I hope they
Preach a
realize that
potato
if
there,
this
Scotty
wasn't
boy.
all written down, they'd know nothing about it.
New World Order Pizza,
This
or
magazine's
Scotty
been
boy
in
there did a
continual
7-day
print since
fast, and then he broke
1828,
his
and I doubt
fast
they
with
ran out and got all
12
of the
eggs,
copies
4
off the back of
potatoes,
people's
and
toilets
half of
instead
a
of just getting rid of these
watermelon.
photos.
Did you do the
They
watermelon,
could
Scotty boy?
have. Anyway, we're going to skip forward. This journal was published in 1834, and they had just had a crazy meteor storm of the Leonids meteor shower. One observer calculates 270,840 meteors were seen
Half
at
of one?
Boston.
Okay.
I think we got
And
a
then he
math
was
fan.
puking.
Varied in size from that of the full moon to that of a
Right?
teacup. Some of them were followed by a train of pale or bluish or reddish light,
I
which
think
in
the
one
fourth
particular
potato did
case
him in,
seemed
he
to act
said.
upon the wind. In some cases, an explosion was heard, and a gelatinous substance was found in 3 instances where balls had struck the earth. I heard
That's
the
neat.
Native Americans refer to this event as the Hakalugi meteor storm. The height of these phenomena varied from a short distance from the surface of the earth to a considerable elevation. In descending through the atmosphere, they exploded, and in some feet of
All
the
right, back
earth,
to
and in
speaker.
others struck it. So they were actually hitting the earth. The weather, it seemed, was suddenly changed immediately, warm to accompanied by extraordinary transparency of the atmosphere. Calmness and frost succeeded to storms and intense heat. See how expressive people's diction is in 1833? People today would say it was calm and cold and then hot and stormy. But this eloquent writer is the primitive culture.
Huh.
The air was excessively electric during the display. Clothes and hair were visibly affected, standing up on end. Got a bunch of static in the air. The
Wow.
declination of the compass needle also was supposed to have pointed that way. All observers agreed that it was coming from the constellation Leo. The concurrent phenomena, things that are happening at the same time, are the sinking down of an
You're
acre
much
and a
better.
half of woods at Hudson, New York, a full 30 feet below the surface, and the occurrence of a trembling of the earth previously observed there.
Hmm.
In Lynchburg, a fall of
We do
rain
have
when
comets
not a
coming in.
cloud was to be seen, and a luminous appearance like the echo light, the northern lights. So boom, right there, you got a bunch of solar activity and the northern lights seen down in Virginia. I seem to remember an article on that not long ago. He goes on to list cities all on the northern hemisphere that were seeing this. Also says the great quake of Kumana in 1766, they also saw the northern lights. Weakened magnetic field, cosmic rays, and big quakes. That's on November 12th. A short
Huh.
time before that, Arica and Techno in South America had been.
Yeah, so what we have is Comet 2023. Let's see. So the comet is expected to be the brightest on January 31st and February 1st. Though the moon will be bright and the comet will be uh, the faintest an object can be without optical aid in a very clear, very dark sky, according to Adler Planetarium. So there is one coming through. When is the next comet coming? So it's C2023A, Tecumseh. Tecumseh? I don't know. It's called Atlas. It's on its way into the inner solar system and already grabbing headlines as the next possible daytime comet. Early estimates say it may outshine the brightest star in the sky and become visible to the naked eye during daylight hours for a brief time in October. So that's coming in, and of course, they're always preparing for war. When I say lunch, I really mean dinner. Okay. Lunch, dinner, and dinner, supper. It's a weird world, James.
Taken out by a quake of great intensity. Add to this also the occurrences of 1766, 1753, and 1754, and a connection is apparent between the meteors and the quakes. A year before all of that, November 14th, 1832, a similar display of meteors resembling the most brilliant fireworks was seen all over the south of England and in many parts of Europe. At that time occurred the quake at Bermuda, the eruption of Etna, and closely afterwards that of Vesuvius. At Brunk, the meteors were preceded by the appearance of an intense light in the sky that descended and was then drawn up into a globular mass. Then it expanded, and from it issued numerous meteoric stones. Now, here's a pretty crazy idea that I read in one of these journals, that these are electrical phenomena and the stones are actually created and formed in the atmosphere. And if you think about the mainstream idea that heavier elements were supposed to be formed from supernova, those are both kind of on the same page. In January 1834, a couple months after the main one, a noise as loud as thunder was heard, and the heavens appeared in a blaze. A round body of fire was seen at Austerlitz and many other
A
places.
Balmenic?
Gradually, it attained the size and appearance
What?
of the moon, increasing till it was
Balamec?
as big as a house. It created great alarm. They were afraid it was going to hit them. Rays of light as bright as the sun came from it so that the naked eye could not endure it. No meteoric stones were found, but there was an earthquake in Badan about this time. All the wells at Bain threw out a quantity of silvery matter with a foaming torrent that made the streets look like milk. Same thing during the Great Lisbon quake in 1755. Then on November 20th, the coast of Chile was being
Oh,
elevated by
bulimic. Okay.
earthquakes. It was being lifted up by earthquake, and meteors were observed running along in the same direction as the shocks. During the same month, luminous balls of fire were seen in France of the size of the moon, followed by quakes at Heidelberg.
Hmm.
And again, the aurora was seen by Captain Perry. Now, he states it is also well known that there were quakes all over the globe in 1783, the same year as the Lockheed
So that was a major
volcano.
geological
If you look this up, it
time.
only lists the Calabrian quake, but he's saying it's pretty common knowledge that these were worldwide in 1786 or 83. Thunderstorms were also frequent and hurricanes. On March 17th, 1783, a thunderstorm destroyed the castle of Montagnac in France, while the city of Kremnitz in Hungary was destroyed by lightning. He goes on to list dozens of examples, and it's all the same. Atmospheric phenomena, storms, shaking, and you name it. And here's the way I see all of this. If you look at the 1783 Lockheed eruption as the beginning of the Dalton minimum, which most places don't, they say it started in 1790 because of the sunspots alone. But he just listed the accompanying atmospheric phenomena, storms, and seismic events to the 1783, the beginning of the Dalton minimum.
We'll take a look
and
at
then you jump forward to about the midpoint, and you've got New Madrid and the comet, and there was a series of about 6 minor eruptions, like 4s and 5s, leading up to the 1815 Mount Tambora. Then it seems pretty calm up till the 1833 everything that I just read. So it seems like the onset of the cycle is bad, the middle of it is bad, and the end is bad. And that's over the course of 50
So
years.
it's bad, and bad.
There's a lot of speculation that we're heading into a GSM right now, and we have been getting a lot of solar activity lately. But if Suspicious Observers is right about this being the 12,000-year geomagnetic reversal, then we probably don't have to worry about beginning, middle, and end. We're just going to go straight to the end for probably 99% of the world.
Excuse me.
But whatever, there's a million speculations on what the cause is and exactly what you call it and all this, and I don't care. I just know that it's happened.
I've sneezed more than once this year. That's weird.
People say, you and your stupid 800-year cycle. I don't have an 800-year cycle. I've read accounts of other people that have an 800-year cycle. I've said flat out 100 times, I don't know what the cycle is to this. I know it's not a complete wipe out and reset of humanity every 200 years. It looks like the cycle.
We have so many weird things happening. There's writings about them,
Dalton minimum,
but they're off limits to teach.
But these all happen to varied degrees.
And they just don't teach about it.
The worst out of
That's
all these, fantastic
right?
events was famine, and you had maybe a 5%.
They tell you little snippets.
That doesn't even come close
you're
to being
supposed
able
to remember.
To rewrite all of history.
They usually like propaganda snippets.
But like I said, I'm not going to convince the people that can't rationalize and use logic. But I know there are.
Well, what could happen if these
comments all the time that got
these events cause so much static and electrical phenomena, which obviously affected the Earth?
Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Wow, that took a long time.
And causing things to go up and down.
Static out.
Well, what is going to happen now, because they've got all this electricity that they're putting into the atmosphere, is that going to increase the devastation? Is that going to, what's that going to do to us? The New World Order, New World Order globalist psyop and U.S. geoweapon triggered black ops. Yeah, and there was Syria. Remember, Syria went up with that line of earthquakes that devastated the country. Immense Hunga Tonga volcanic explosion in January 2022 triggered by U.S. geoweapon, primary cause of 2023 heat wave. There must be a specific reason why it's hotter than Hades this summer. Actually, it's cooler for me. This has been one of the coolest summers that I've ever experienced. Except for back in the 80s, there was another volcano. I think it was it Mount St. Helens? There was a couple of volcanoes went off when I was a kid, and they made the summer very cool and cold. I don't know if Mount St. Helens did that, but I know another one did. Because of so much ash they put in the sky. Now, that's a totally different thing from what we're experiencing, because back when other volcanoes went off, they told us to expect a cooler than usual summer because the ash blocking out the clouds. Any thoughts on that? Oh, okay. Welcome to the panel, Alex. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, John. Doing good. Yeah, it's very hot in Aruba, but it's normal.
Yeah.
Not what they portraying that it's like we're at global boiling point right now. That's what UN declared, global boiling. Well, it's just to tax the people more, like they can do something about it. The weather's always changing.
Oh,
When
yeah.
has the weather not changed?
Throw more money at it. That'll fix it, right? Throw more money into billionaires' pockets. I haven't seen any of my money
Oh,
go
yeah.
towards fixing anything.
It came out the wildfires in Greece, New Europe. I think 70% of them was caused by people. They ignited. So they want to blame the global warming, but there's people doing it. And the town in Hawaii, Maui, that burned down,
Mm-hmm.
it's the global warming and wildfires. It's not. It's the direct energy weapon, the same that they use in LA.
Yeah, in
So,
Canada, a lot of it was people, but I'm sure that well, we have video of them using. I just watched a video this morning of a space laser that they use to start
yeah.
4 or 5 forest fires in a row. Hey,
Yes.
Dolly, how you doing? Yeah,
Hey,
it's entirely planned, and like I was saying before, they're keeping people out of these areas from going back and protecting their homes. Your
yeah.
best just to pretend you're not home and stay in your house and try and protect it yourself. If at the end you can't really do it, then you can abandon your house, but most places are easy to protect. The only thing is the smoke that can get you.
Oh, yeah. What I understand, why they burn that town there down is for the smart city. They want to make it into a smart city.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I heard that just this morning. It was that seemed like to be what it is. Yeah, they're doing
And
the Agenda 2030, moving people off the land.
yeah, they're doing it fast. And I see Canada. What, John, you would know. Is it that the Canadians are not allowed to share, like, for example, Alex Jones news or things like that? You get trouble or something?
Uh, Not that I know of yet. What I got my strike for was medical misinformation. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I thought it was
Yeah,
because
I
of
got that.
windmills, because I highlighted the hoax of windmills, how you know, they're a total subsidized hoax, don't even work, can't put any electricity onto the grid. They're just useless.
Well, it depending because the one. Well, I can understand that. Well, I study alternative energy. That's what I went to study in the Netherlands at the university there.
Yeah.
But I found out there's much more other sustainable energy that's better than solar and wind. But
Yep.
the wind in Aruba, for example, I'm just giving the example of Aruba, the windmills here, at night they run at optimal because at night the wind pick up here. So
Yeah.
they're running good here. Yeah, I know the maintenance is higher compared to the solar, the cost, but there's much better energy out there, sustainable energy that you don't have to depend on the energy to produce energy. So the wind, you have to depend
Yeah.
on the wind. If there's no wind, no energy. So
But
the solar the same.
the problem I have with the windmills is the design they chose. They chose the most inefficient design that requires you to put in power to keep the turbine running until the wind speed actually picks up. So all the time, if it's not producing, it's actually drawing off of the grid. And have you ever seen any of the drum designs? They're like a barrel type of windmill,
Yeah,
and they
you
just
have different. You
they
have the.
rotate this way. They're a much
Oh
more
yeah,
efficient design. They grab more wind. They
oh
actually
yeah,
produce power at low speeds, and
yes. The
they haven't
vertical.
put any of those in, and those are
No, those
much
are.
more efficient.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Those are the vertical wind turbine. You have horizontal and you have vertical. And I know in the Netherlands, for example, they just develop. It's like a box with windmill on top and in the no the solar on top and the windmill in the between, and they both compensate for each other. With
Yeah,
it, the windmill lowers the temperature, so the solar stay efficient, running efficient. That it doesn't get too much hot, and it also helps with the flow of air with the wind turbine. So they just developed that. It's run very efficient, and that you can put it on top of your building,
yeah, and I've
or
seen them built
anywhere.
with like inside a box with a
Yeah,
scoop. Like all the sides are like beveled in
yeah,
so that it concentrates the wind. So you're
yes,
grabbing even more wind. Like
yes,
why did they go with the turbine design? The horizontal horizontal wind turbine design. With the skinny little blades too. Like if they really
yeah,
wanted to catch the wind with those, wouldn't they put 30 blades on it and fill up the whole area? You know,
yeah.
like
It takes a lot of space, and yeah, there has been a lot of troubles with them with catching fire and shit like that,
yep,
especially in Holland. So no, they're not really efficient, and apparently a lot of birds has been dying too, running into the blades. So
yep. And they put
yeah,
out ELFs, extremely low frequencies that cause health problems. Some people have like I've heard up to like people having like constant nosebleeds, aneurysms, and other things just from being
oh,
around those things long term.
oh
Um,
yeah, you're right. I've read an article about that. They call it the wind turbine syndrome or something like that. The
yeah,
people that live near it, they they get a lot of trouble. What you was mentioning. So
yeah,
yeah, it changed the atmosphere. The wind turbine changed the atmosphere.
yeah. And the sideways turbines, the barrel or drum type, they don't do that because they're a very stable design. You can affix them tightly, and they don't wobble as much. The ones
Oh
on the thing, they start doing this, and that's how they send the frequencies, the ALFs, through the land, is because of the tower. The tower acts like a wind pole vibrating.
oh okay okay.
Yeah, and did you know that each wind turbine you put up, you get $600,000 in subsidies a year, whether it
Wait,
produces energy or not?
really? But okay,
The
but how much is producing kilowatt or mega? I'm thinking you're talking about kilowatt because I don't think nobody there would have a megawatt generator at the home. That would be too much. That would
Yeah.
power the whole farm.
Oh, I'm talking the large scale ones, the industrial scale, like the large scale wind farms that they're putting up. They get a subsidy. Each company gets a subsidy of
Oh,
$600,000 a year for each turbine.
And
whether it produces power or not doesn't matter.
so actually, so they have it there just for art. Oh look, we're
Pretty much.
sustainable.
Well, it's a
But
great money making scheme because you invest about $1 million to put one up, right?
yeah,
And then what happens is you get your subsidies, and in 2 years you've paid it back. You paid out back all the money that you borrowed to make it, and then you're just taking in profits from there on out.
damn, yeah, that's and who's
It's a
paying
really
for
good
it?
scam, you
Yeah,
know.
the people are paying for it because the government doesn't have money. It's using the people money. So the
Yeah,
people at the end are paying for it.
exactly.
Well, damn. Well, yeah, I know next year is gonna be
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And
But
most
yeah,
of them don't produce power. I featured a video of a lady who worked in the industry in Australia, and you might in Aruba get some power out at night, like optimal power,
yes,
but
and,
it,
and yeah,
is it? Yeah, it's hard to get enough, and you need a huge amount of turbines to supply an entire city, and they have problems with storage of the energy as well. Um, like you need gigantic banks of batteries at the moment to store any of the energy. So the only
that
really efficient thing to do is to try to feed it right into the system. But because it's a turbine and the wind varies, it goes up and down. So
that's true.
it's very hard to regulate that voltage. So what they would have to do is take like the generators they're using, like the gas powered or coal, and they'd have to start doing them, like using them up and down. But it takes like 12 hours to get one of them up to heat. So you can't really vary the temperature on that to accommodate for the change in voltage coming off of the meter. So it's basically absolutely useless.
Well, yeah, it depends on the area where you put it too, no? Yeah, in Aruba, the ones that they have is 6 megawatt generator. During the
Hmm.
day, it's producing four. At night, it's at six. Is rotating at maximum capacity.
Yeah, but
But
the thing to check is like they might say it's producing, but how much of that energy is actually making it to the grid?
well, you're gonna have a loss of it go on the grid.
Yeah,
There's loss
yeah,
in heat.
yeah.
So I don't know how much they're getting through, but what I know is going directly to the grid. You know,
Hmm. Yeah,
so
and that's
they're
that's
using.
kind of a problem, right? With the regulation of the speed or the voltage.
Oh, well,
It's
they have a regulator. They have a
Yeah.
regulator. They're regulating it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, you get
yeah,
more
you have to
loss
have a
there.
regulator. You have to have a regulator. Otherwise, it's like if you have it in your home and
Yeah,
it's directly on it, the lights is gonna be flickering.
yeah, yeah. My buddy has his own system. He has a huge bank of batteries. It doesn't last him very long, but
That's the
uh,
problem is with the batteries. Because to store the energy, that's why I came across the hydrogen technology. That's the best one. That you can store it. This I saw in America a long time ago. There was a guy that has few tanks. He produced the hydrogen, store it
mhm.
in the tank, and then he has the fuel cell where he get the electrons out of the hydrogen and produce electricity. And he has to connect it to his house. So that's with the hydrogen technology, you can store it,
Hmm.
not lose it, lose energy compared to battery. Battery every 2 3 years you have to replace it, and they're not cheap, and they're not environmentally friendly either.
No.
So the best thing is right now is the hydrogen.
Yeah. A friend of mine was looking up getting into the electric cars. The problem he found was the batteries are only guaranteed for about 2 years. You pay,
Yeah,
close to $100,000 for the car, and then in 2 years you're going to have to spend another 40,000 to get a new battery.
yeah.
So
So
every 2 years.
that you see, it's not efficient, and to make an electrical car, you have to put 9 times more minerals compared to a combustion engine car. But
Hmm.
there's already technology out there. I can mention too. In the 1980s, there was a guy in America that he had the car on electrical, and with a battery, but not as many as a normal electrical car. And he had an engine in there that produced the electricity. It was running, you can say, a magnetic engine. So he
Yeah.
didn't need to plug the car to charge it anywhere. He can drive cross country and back without charging because the car produces its own energy. And there's a guy in Africa, I think Maxwell Ngunda. He invented a technology that he can tap into the radio frequency and get electricity out of it to the electrical motor. So he has cars and helicopter devices running on the radio frequency so that you don't need to charge it anywhere. So the
Mhm.
technology is out there. And there was a guy in France that had a engine like the steam engine. You use steam to move the piston, but you replace the steam and you put compressed air. And he was
Yeah.
working on to get a rotation, so he doesn't need to how do you say, put in compress it in the car. So the car compress it and do the whole thing. So you have a closed circuit. So and
Nice.
that car was running on air. So you have different other technology out there, much better. But the way they're using the electrical cars is not good. There's the frequency guy in Africa and the magnetic engine that you don't need to charge a car. And with electrical car, what is good is it has um, not much moving parts compared to the
Mhm.
combustion engine car, and the maintenance is very low. You don't have to do any maintenance on it,
Yeah,
basically.
I've got a motor downstairs that's probably about 50 or 60. No, it's older than me, so it's probably around 60 years old or 70 years old. Still works, you know.
Nice,
Yeah.
that's good. You see, they had the in the 90s they had a car called EV1. It was
Mhm.
a documentary they made about it called "Who Killed the Electrical Car," and
Yeah, the
that car
Volt.
was
I think that was the. Oh, yeah, we had those in Canada. Ford was
the
making
EV1.
those. Yeah,
EV1. It was
yeah.
General Motors, I think. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they called those cars back because they weren't do they hadn't the mechanic didn't have much maintenance on them, so they saw, oh, we're gonna lose money, so they called the cars back. Now they're pushing it because now it's easier to control,
Oh,
and
yeah.
most of the grid around the world is not gonna handle it, so the people are not gonna get far. So it's basically for control. Now they see, oh, we can control people with it. They cannot get far, so let's push it now. You know.
Hmm. James thinks that they're going to use us as batteries. I don't know about that, James. They could use us as
Well,
processors, I think. I think we could be used as processors for a computer system. They probably get all the power for free from old systems. All the green methods have zero impact on the grid. Yeah, there's atmospheric collectors they supposedly used. How you doing? No, not no. Good to see you. That's the guy who who tied the
oh yeah,
drivetrain to a generator that recharged the batteries as he drove. No need to stop and recharge. Nice.
that's cool. And Marcus Park, you're right. I know who Stanley Mayers is. I did the project based on his work, and yes, the Pentagon went after Stanley Mayers. Yeah, the same people. It was the Pentagon.
Yeah, they go after everybody who comes out with something. There are people that are trying, but you'll never see the information. That's the problem. They 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 wait until they get almost to completion, and then they come in and poof, you're gone. You're done. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't hear any
If you
more
do
about
it,
it.
that's true. Because if you do it, you have to keep it for yourself or help the people around you, but don't make a business out of it like publicly. Because I've seen a lot of people went down. I tell you the truth, I had ideas to make a business about the water car, hydrogen car. Let's say it's
Yeah.
HHO gas, but let's say I'm protected. Let me put it that way. That I
Right.
didn't start the business in. I had planned in 2013, but I was
Yeah.
protected. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they always stop everything. And it's funny. I love I love the oil company. We pay subsidies to the oil company, but we're against oil. So how does that work? The
Yes.
oil company funds the organizations that are against it, like Extinction Rebellion and Greta Thunberg just came out because she was pissed. She quit her organization because she found out it was funded by big oil. It's funny
It's,
watching it
uh,
all unravel, right?
oh yes, especially this year. Have you seen people? Have you seen this year a lot of truth coming out of people, of the government, things coming to light that has to
Hmm.
do with the 7. Now I'm seeing mainstream is going mainstream that for example the Obama that Michelle is like a man. Now people are like getting to that news.
Oh,
They
that wow! I didn't know that went mainstream. Big
yeah, it's
Mike is
going.
out, is he?
Yeah, I think it was one of Obama ex-girlfriend leaked. I think a letter that
Yeah.
Obama saying he loved doing it with men every day.
Well,
So,
that was only in his mind. He says he did it. He had sex with men every day in his mind. So
oh yeah, yeah, right,
yeah.
yeah, right, yeah, it is mine. Yeah, right. So yeah,
So yeah. No, James is upset because I'm not convinced we're a battery. We as humans are the ultimate energy source. It's so damn simple to see. I don't know. It's possible, I guess.
well, our cell produce so much voltage. So if you
We're like
count all
we're
the
like a
billion,
we're like a 20-watt bulb.
no, I think more than that. If we
No,
get,
that's
we
what
can
we
produce
produce. That's what we
21.
produce. About 20 watts.
But I think we can do more than that. No, 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 no. I'm pretty sure.
Well, don't tell the elites that. Then they will use you for a
Oh,
battery, right?
oh yeah, that's cool. No, no, no. No, I will fry their system. If they pluck it on, I will fry it. Uh,
Gets to the point. No, not no says the expensive batteries become obsolete using prototype mini fuel engines to recharge them. Capacitors would be cheaper and more efficient with an onboard power source. Yeah, yeah, a bunch of little capacitors pulsing the energy. You could do that type of a system. 2,000. I saw an electric car that runs on 2,000 AA batteries. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Y'all probably covered this, but Hawaii was warned days before, but set off zero alarms. No, I didn't hear that, Dolly. We did cover the volcano, but or the fires, but not that.
Lolmark, Lolmark. Yeah, I didn't know about that either. That they got warned. I just know it wasn't the story that's given out is it doesn't match, and you see the fire pattern is not natural.
Mhm.
Um, so it looks like they used the direct energy weapon.
Yeah, I saw a video on that. Let me see if I can find that quickly.
Yeah, Scotty, Big Mike. A lot of people cannot believe it. I told my mother about it. My mother is impossible. My mother says, "But they have children." I'm like, "That's not their children." And I show her the picture of the real father and mother of the Obama children, and they don't look like the Obama. My mother was shocked. Yeah, a lot of people gonna
Ye-
be shocked when the truth come out.
yeah, they're all a bunch of gender bending weirdos.
Yes, that's basically
Like
it. Yeah, it's old news for us, not the
for
normies.
us, yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw also Oprah. Oprah was getting exposed. That was also going mainstream. A lot of YouTubers were making videos of Oprah with her scam and her friends that are all into dark shit. So it's cool. Hey, we live in an interesting time, man. Finally, things are turning
Yeah,
in our way. You know, now the conspiracy theorists are not
I
so
think
crazy
so.
after now. Yeah.
I think I found the video.
Yeah, I saw that video. Big Mike dancing on Ellen, and you see the thing swinging.
Yeah, yeah. I saw years ago. I saw the pictures of Big Mike with Obama in Chicago. They were just hanging out and stuff, and you could just that was Big Mike, no doubt about it. But it was a guy, you know. He's not so
Yeah.
big, but for a girl, yeah.
Ah, yeah. For a girl, yeah. Let me see. Dolly says the largest population non-English speaking citizens on the island. So the where the place that the burn that got burned in Hawaii, were they native? The native there? The native? And if I think if that was the native, that would make sense. They always go after the native.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, Lahaina is a tourist town. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, let me show you.
Oddly,
Let's see.
Oprah's property. Oh, so Oprah has property in Maui. Oh, what kind of the direct energy people want to burn down Oprah House? Well, that's so kind of them.
Listen, Governor Josh Green touted Hawaii's sustainability accomplishments at the United Nations Social Council in New York City. The governor was the keynote speaker in the forum that included more than 4 points that Hawaii is in a unique position as an island state that tried to lead the way in promoting renewable energy.
We tried to lead on a state to mandate 100% renewable energy. And an opportunity as a small state with particularly a small footprint because of our position.
Speakers were invited to help implement the United Nations Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals in 2030.
So that's Governor Green. I mean, this is how in our faces this stuff is, right? It's about green energy. It's the green plan. Governor Green was just put in place in 2022. In the first, less than a year, this happens. He's already just been at the United Nations 4 weeks ago. He was there 4 weeks ago, July 12th and July 19th. He was, through the 19th. That's when he was there. Okay, and he's talking about this stuff. Now, then we have to look at what a smart city is, because a lot of people out there don't understand that.
Here
It's
we
an
go to
enslavement
Smart City.
They see all this tech and they're like, that's high tech. That's really neat. And one of the things that's going on in our country, you probably hear all these stories, right? Oh my goodness, Oregon's going to crap. San Francisco's going to crap. New York's going to crap. That's done by design. That's done to weed out business owners, to make them leave. They need to build smart cities. They're not going to be able to torch every city, so they need to destroy them economically. Look how many businesses have gone under in San Francisco. Malls going under, street stores going under. San Francisco is a hub. It is filled with rich people. Okay, so this is done by design. We know big tech runs not only out of California, they run out of San Francisco, Twitter, etc. So this is done by design. The World Economic Forum, their whole goal, our alliance is creating smart city governance, okay, which is control, right? Which means you don't leave the city, you stay in the city. You go, we say you go, right? You think this is all coincidental? I guarantee you that they're going to come out and they're going to announce when they start the rebuilding plans for Lahaina, that Lahaina is going to be the first U.S. city that's a smart city. And it makes sense that they would choose Lahaina, one, because it's small compared to doing it in the midland, and two, because it's not in the continental US. Okay, it's over in an island. So they're not going to be heavily monitored. It's pretty liberal over there. So they're going to be able to do that and experiment there and make sure they tweak everything the way they want to tweak it without doing it right here in the heartland. But then it will be coming eventually to San Francisco and Oregon and Los Angeles. All these cities that they're destroying are going to turn into these smart city bubbles. And if you don't know what it looks like, here's a layout of the smart city. I'm going to show you a video clip. And keep in mind, this is them talking about it happening in Toronto, because, of course, we know the same thing is happening up in Canada with Trudeau, who is a World Economic Forum puppet, who is in the, the global leadership groups, the youth groups, et cetera, who's been groomed from a young age to destroy his country, to give it the globalist image now, which would be a smart city. Take a look at this hell on earth.
Does this look like rushing going to for a road? This but life could look like this: an oasis of green parks, endless sidewalks, and empty roads. Impossible? Well, it's actually the concept behind the 15-minute
15-minute city, or the 15-minute neighborhood, is certainly something that's become very much, you can say, in vogue recently.
Paris is working towards it, so is Barcelona and Portland, and now Vancouver also has a plan in place.
Big new move number one was for all residents in the city are within a walking distance.
Yes, it's more than a 30, but in a 15-minute, I could the grocery store, post office, doctor's appointment, gym, hair salon, dentist, you name it, all within, you guessed it, just 15 minutes. A solution not just for gridlock on the street or urban emissions. In fact, the goals of creating a more walkable city were announced as a climate emergency action plan. And the Vancouver Plan and Project team are already in the process of figuring out what neighborhoods should look like and how to translate that into land use strategies.
Just look at your neighborhood and look at your walk score. The walk score, how many good things you're a short walk from. Where we get really low walk scores are in the part of it are largely suburban. And so there's some sections where single family homes are really far from a lot of retail. And in those areas, the actual answer is to deliver more of those commercial services.
The Plan and Project team will be addressing council with options as early as July. This plan
To the environmental goals that the country and the city have committed to repeatedly is to change behavior.
So in Vancouver's latest announced new incentives to drive less, like connecting cycling and walking networks citywide, in hopes that 80% of trips by 2030 will be made either by foot, bike, or transit. They also announced disincentives for driving, like implementing transportation pricing in the Metro Core and creating a carbon pollution surcharge on residential parking permits. But all of this takes some time.
Cities change.
It's in my bio.
You actually have to build them.
The team says they're looking at how to move
you can just come to classes on Friday and Saturday night.
Years.
What happens when a group of the world buys a sprawling wall? They make plans for a $3 billion futuristic city. That's what. Sidewalk Labs released its master innovation and development plans to turn a chunk of Toronto's Lake Ontario shoreline into the most futuristic city in the world. It would result in over 93,000 jobs and a better standard of living for its residents. Alphabet, an umbrella company that includes Google and Sidewalk Labs, seeks to provide solutions to areas. Quayside, which is along the shorelines of Lake Ontario and features houses, shops, and offices. The first office here, of course, will be Google's. The second area is the River District, an area of 152 acres featuring 5 neighborhoods surrounding the Don River. The housing is a plan for collection. The project would cost around $3 use metal and modular components made in the owned by Sidewalk Labs. The city will $0.2 billion light rail extension, which would connect the neighborhood transit before the new residents move in. It would cut down on the need for residents to own a car, and it would be safe and affordable. Canada is known for its somewhat overwhelming winter. Well, the hyper-local weather center would detect an oncoming snow-melting pavements. It would keep the streets clear for pedestrians and cyclists, as well as autonomous delivery robots. It's all going to be connected, heavily modulated. Wi-Fi would be available for everyone throughout the city for free, and sensors around the area collect data on the energy usage, traffic patterns, and much, much more. Residents lead the most comfortable life possible. What's more, the city is going to be climate, getting a sub-zero carbon footprint. But we already expect. In Toronto, Sidewalk Labs shows a picture of a world with intelligent pay-as-chutes that separate your plastic from papers for you. The city would charge by waste, and apps would tell residents when chairs on the waterfront were open, so for block permits. And traffic signal will auto-calibrate to ease pedestrian during public events and rush hours. The director of Sidewalk Labs, Eric Jaffe, was responsible for this impressive proposal. He expects, or rather hopes, that more cities around the world will pick up on this blueprint and use it for themselves. One of those ideas is for it helps developers complete their projects reliably, on time, and at a lower cost. Critique and government approval. Before all that,
Tex-Mex, I'm on a strike, so I'm using my alternate channel at the moment. On
Hey,
Friday and
wait.
Saturday nights, I do a remote viewing class at 11.
John, this is interesting. Look where you paused it. You paused it at 11:11. Interesting. Without you even knowing.
Cool.
That's cool.
All right, let's continue. It's not too long.
though, government officials have to scrutinize and approve labs plan process. Some of the project have shifted over the tractors. One government-appointed nonprofit developer of
I like my
Toronto's Eastern
travels.
Shore chose Sidewalk Labs to plan their smart city development. The most controversial point of the plan was the idea that a Google sister company planned to harvest data in public space. Over time, Sidewalk Labs was criticized for not revealing how they would use the data and who would control it. And for a while there, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association sued the government to stop the project. So sure, dreamt of making a section of the likes of which we let's get a dark thousands of monitors. This was one among things their CEO, Sundar Pichai, had to testify about when he was called to Congress and pretty much grilled for 3.5 hours. For those reasons, and perhaps others, the Sidewalk Toronto project was abandoned in May of 2020 to give way for a new kind of city. As exciting as we've been, we still lost the chance to have an internet-first community, which promised affordable internet and precise data on our carbon footprint and consumption to live more sustainable lifestyles. We lost a fully integrated transport system, social housing, 93,000 jobs, and finally, a green city initiative. But bigger things are to come than Toronto. Well, Quayside will have a new the government called for proposals when Google and Toronto parted ways. And these new plans seem to center on low carbon design and an emphasis on local and minority-owned businesses instead of what some have called a dystopian nightmare. There's a lot to be done. So far, renderings of wooden skyscrapers and the integration of elements like Ontario into parks and recreational areas. But one thing's for sure, it won't be a Google smart city. Would you want to live in a Google city? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Narrowly escaped becoming a smart country. Toronto, right beside me, was going to become a smart city. But yeah, it fell through, which is awesome. But you know, they're going to come back at us with a different plan, a different strategy to try to implement their like these sidewalks eventually would have been able to track everything you were doing, all your conversations. God knows how far they would have taken it to even you know, implanting or rewriting memories, thoughts, things like that. It could have gone really bad. Yeah, why do you want to have anything to do with Google, right? And yeah, tracking your carbon footprint. My God, people actually still believe that, you know, that's actually something. that's important. It's ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
what good is a smart city full of dumb people?
Have you heard about the Gwen Tower? Gwen Tower?
No.
Apparently, those towers can affect our thoughts, and they have it also implanted around.
What are they
That's the
called?
technology.
Wen
Gwen,
towers?
yeah, the
Oh, Gwen.
GWANN.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
check it out. Ground Wave Emergency Network. It's a command and control communication system intended for the U.S. United States government. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it's called the mind control frequency generator. Yeah.
So Gwen is a radio communication system designed to withstand the damaging effects of electromagnetic pulse energy surges produced by high altitude nuclear detonations and other ionospheric disturbances. Okay, let's take a look at a Gwen tower. No, they don't really show one. Okay, yeah, they do.
Well, those towers are multi-purpose. Things like that.
They look like it, yeah. Most of their technology is multi-purpose. They tell you it's for one thing, but it's not. You know, it's always for something else. Like 5G
Yeah.
doesn't work as a carrier wave for information, but yet they're telling us that's what it's for. So that's quite an array.
Yeah. Those
Uh,
are the,
it really doesn't need that many supporting wires to keep it up. So those are for a different purpose. Uh,
it's
12
what
top loading elements, guide. They're calling those guide wires. Um, 150 or 60-foot self-supporting tower for. Okay, it's got a lot of elements in it. Yeah, that's not just for one thing. They could send pulses into the earth with that thing or out.
yeah. And they have those all around. Those exact ones. They
Yeah, I
call it
haven't seen
mind.
them myself, but
Yeah, I've seen them in Aruba.
hmm.
They use it for Wi-Fi too. Well, yeah, frequency is transmitting frequency. It's just a multi-purpose device. Same with HARP. HARP, they
Yeah,
use it for multi-purpose communication, weather control, earthquake, uh, the atmosphere, the Gulf Stream, they affect into. That's a multi-purpose thing, and this one too. Yeah, not a lot of people know about these things. That those things are actually um, affecting our mind, thinking pattern.
oh yeah, absolutely. That's what they're intended for. They can't get you with the fluoride; they'll get you with that.
Exactly.
Okay.
With the fluoride, it will make it easier for them to go with that. Yeah, God, they are everywhere. Yeah, and some of them are hidden. No,
Mm.
some of them are hidden.
Yeah, we have an old radio tower they could use for that. Top of most grocery stores. Yeah, okay. Well, they gave themselves permission, beloved. Oh, you're not modded.
Well, they say it's for one thing, but they're doing another thing. They're not telling the complete story.
Mhm.
It's the same with the geoengineering chemtrails. Saying, oh, blocking out the sunlight. Yeah.
Okay, let's see this Hunga Tonga article here. When Hunga Tonga erupted January 15th, 2022, sent a tsunami racing around the world and set off a sonic boom that circled the globe twice. The underwater eruption in the South Pacific Ocean also blasted an enormous plume of water vapor into Earth's atmosphere, enough to fill more than 58,000 Olympic swimming pools. The sheer amount of water vapor could be enough to temporarily affect the Earth's global average temperature. Okay, so there is the difference. When the volcanoes that went off when I was young, they were not underwater, so it was ash in the sky, causing it to be cooler. So I could see how the water vapor holding in the heat is doing that. Alternatively, Milan
That
and
was
his
an
colleague. Go ahead.
sorry, that was an underwater volcano, the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Where was that one?
Let's see here. Hunga Tonga.
Tonga.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think that's in the Pacific. I think, not sure. Yeah, I think
Is
that's
that near?
Pacific.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Let's
Pacific.
see.
Because here in the Caribbean, you have also one that's active. A few years ago, we got a warning, but nothing didn't happen. But it still is. The name of it is called Kick Them Jenny. Kick Them Jenny. That's the underwater volcano name. Kick Them Jenny, and that's still active. Is near Barbados there. That's the one that the Caribbean islands need to watch out for.
Okay. So we've never seen anything like it, said Mulan, an atmospheric scientist, JPL, California. He led a new study examining the amount of water vapor that the Tonga volcano injected to the atmosphere. The layer of atmosphere between 8 and 33 miles above the Earth. Milan and his colleagues estimated Tonga eruption sent around 146 teragrams, trillion grams of water vapor into the Earth's atmosphere. 10% of the water vapor already present in the atmosphere. That's nearly 4 times the amount of water vapor the scientists estimated in 1991. Mount Pinatubo eruption in the Philippines lofted. NASA scientists say that volcano eruptions rarely inject water into the air, into the stratosphere, and they have only ever recorded it twice before, once in Alaska in 2008, another in Chile in 2015. Both these sent appreciable amounts of water vapor to high altitudes, but these were mere blips in comparison with Tongan volcano. And whilst the previous eruptions dissipated quickly, NASA suggests the vapor from the Tonga volcano could remain in the atmosphere for several years. Okay, cool. This extra water vapor could influence the atmospheric chemistry, boosting certain chemicals, reactions that could temporarily worsen depletion of the ozone layer. It could also influence surface temperatures. Massive volcano eruptions like Krakatoa and Mount Pinatubo typically cool the Earth's surface by ejecting gases, dust, and ash that reflect sunlight back into space. In contrast, the Tonga volcano didn't inject large amounts of aerosols into the atmosphere, and the huge amounts of water vapor from the eruption may have a small temporary warming effect since water vapor traps heat. The effect would dissipate when the extra water cycles out of the atmosphere and would not be enough to noticeably exacerbate climate change effects, which are bullshit anyways. Stop messing with the weather and maybe climate will stop changing.
True.
Right?
Yeah, do you have the camp now? The evidence is coming out that there are some pilots getting paid for the chemtrails that they drop. They're getting extra paid for that. So the truth is coming out. You have also the aqua trails, which there are big ship leaving trails in the on the sea.
Yep.
So Yeah, I see next year everything is going to come to a point. Next year is really where the whole world they need to stand up and
Yep.
against the corruption.
Yeah. How are they going to steer it, though? That's the idea. Is they want to steer this in a direction that's beneficial for them, that allows them more control. But I see people getting really pissed about the idea of control, censorship, being,
Yeah,
followed, surveilled. There's a real pushback on that, and I'm happy to see that.
yes, that's good
Especially, yeah, in
because
my
that's going to
city.
clear.
Yeah, in my city, they've rebelled against almost everything. They rebelled against critical race theory. Now the fight's on against the sexualization of children in schools. Um, our
I saw that Montana. I'm sorry, John. Montana is
mhm.
the only, the first state in U.S. that has banned direct reading for children. So that's
Awesome.
good, you know. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they're indoctrinating, sexualizing the children. That's what they want to do. They want to corrupt the youth. You have to
yeah,
corrupt the youth. You don't have a future. You know,
yeah.
everybody's going to be confused.
It's a sexual fetish, and they shouldn't be presenting it to children. Um,
No,
it's just not right. Be back in 1 second. My coffee's ready.
all right. So yeah, next year is going to be interesting. Next year is going to be something else. We're going to see things we never seen before. But all is divine for the awakening. You know. So yeah, 2024 is going to be something else. It has to do with the eight. Eight. 2024 is an 8 year. Eight has to do with power, wealth, abundance. So we need to stand in our power to get our wealth. You know. Maybe something's going to happen with the financial market too, because we that is also not right, corrupt, also with the banks. So I see changes coming with the banking system
Change is
too
coming,
next year. So
incremental, but not all at once. Yeah.
yeah, next year's going to be something else. Let I tell you.
Well, they're already getting ready for their next virus, telling people that they have the
Oh
vaccine for it. I can't go too deep into that, or I'll get struck again. Yeah,
oh
it's
yeah.
chicory, James. Yeah, chicory with cocoa in it. That's what I drink. Hello.
Yeah, beloved one. Yeah, people need to speak up, speak their mind. You know,
Yeah,
be more vocal, not be afraid
yeah. I
what
don't
other
watch the
people
main.
might think or say about them.
Yeah, I don't watch the mainstream, so I don't know how much is coming out on the mainstream. There's one news thing I catch, but I can't remember the name of it. But they've been talking about Biden and the indictments and all that, as well as Trump and other things. But at least it seems like it's almost not really even-handed. I see how they skew things towards the globalist agenda, but with the political thing, I think the elites have decided to collapse the Biden bot. Now, I don't know how much backlash they're going to get from that. And the whole Trump indictment thing is seeming to possibly backfire with him being able to pull up evidence about January 6th, the election fraud, and other
Oh yeah,
things.
that is also what I understand. Timo, there was the Tucker Carlson interview one of the chief police, and apparently it come down to Nancy Pelosi and the others knew about it. So they were in on it. You know, they let it happen. It
Yeah,
was all set up. It was all set up basically. So
yeah,
yeah, the more yeah.
yeah, because they were firing pepper spray into the crowd needlessly, really. The crowd was quite calm until they started attacking them. And that can be shown. They can show the election fraud. They can show all of it because they opened it up for that, unfortunately. So that brings me back to is Trump for real? I don't know. they always like to offer us a hero and a villain, right, to play the scenario. And people were thinking that DeSantis was the outside hero, but I was sent a document over a year ago that he had actually signed an order allowing the forcible use of vaccinations on the public. So he was kind of out of the game for me.
Yeah, as soon as I was doubting him, but as soon as I saw George Soros back him up, I'm like, that's a confirmation. He's a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Till now in US, I'm gonna keep standing with Trump, and the other one I would see that could be strong beside Trump is the lady of Arizona. Um, Not Katie Hobbs. I forgot the other name.
Yeah.
Katie Hobbs is the corrupt one. I I forgot the other name. She's a strong one too.
Yeah.
She also win. Her election was stolen in Arizona,
Yeah.
but she's still fighting it there. She's
Hey,
not
indeed.
giving up. Carrie Lake, Carrie Lake, right?
That's
Oh
it.
yes,
Yeah.
Carrie Lake. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Carrie
And
Lake.
there's
She's
what about
cool.
Tulsi Gabbard? People have some hope for her.
Well, she just left the Democratic Party, right? Which is
Yeah.
the demon party. I don't know
Yeah.
what she is now. Is she is Republican or
Yeah.
independent?
She joined the Republican Party.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of people are leaving the Democratic Party. Actually,
Yeah.
those are the people that don't use common sense.
Yeah. There's been about 8 of them, I think, that have left recently, somewhere around there. I love Tulsi. Yeah,
Oh,
she's a
really?
pretty lady.
Yeah, she speaks her mind.
Yeah.
Tulsi, Carrie, both of them good. Another one
Yeah.
I think was good is Jesse Ventura, but I think he left the USA. He's not living in the USA anymore.
Yeah.
He lived in Mexico, but he ran as the governor of Minnesota as an independent and won. He's good in debate. He's very good
Yeah.
in debate.
You know, people get mad at Trump about the vaccine and the pandemic thing that actually he started off, right? Um, but
Well,
most people,
no,
most people don't know that he's a germaphobe. He's very proud of the vaccine, but he's a germaphobe. So you could see how you could be tricked quite easily if you're a germaphobe. That's just playing right into your worst fears right off the get-go. You know, he did push the alternatives, the alternative therapeutics. He's
yeah,
exposed quite a bit. I'm still on the fence about him though, because
he did. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm still on the fence of him though because of some of his past, right? Scottish Reich, Fourth Reich, Jesuit trained. You know, it's not that somebody couldn't turn on the system, which it seems throughout his career he's kind of been against it. So you kind of give him some realism, but how deep do the deep fakes go? You know, it's
That's the thing. You're right. Okay, I didn't know about the Jesuit part, but there has been people that were in it that turned on it, and
yep,
they were eliminated afterward. Example is John F. Kennedy,
yeah,
JFK. He turned on them. He saw the danger, what they wanted to do, the military industrial complex, the CIA, which he wanted to disassemble, and yeah, they eliminate him. Um, what I understand, Trump is not working by himself. He's working
yeah,
with the military group, the Q group, which
hmm
one of the person in that group, a lot of people are not going to believe it, but John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive, and he's one of that behind the Q group.
he'd be like 80, wouldn't he now, or like how old would he be?
Um, Good
God,
question. I
he'd
don't
be
think
over
he.
he'd be like 100. Let's see, when was John F.
No,
Kennedy? Let's see.
check it out. Check it out. I
Yeah,
don't think he needs to be in the 70 or something, or yeah, not that old. No,
we're talking
I'm
about
talking about
John F. Kennedy or Robert F.
John F.
Kennedy.
No, John F. Kennedy Jr., the son.
Oh, okay, yeah, he could still be alive.
Yeah, Dolly, maybe 65. Yeah, I've seen too much evidence
Um,
that John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive,
oh
and
yeah,
he's one out
yeah, he was born in
work
60.
60, so he'd be 63,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
63.
yeah. So did you see yesterday? I showed a video featuring uh, a sports show they were at, where sorry, a Trump rally, where Ashley Babbitt was. Do you
Ooh,
remember Ashley Babbitt? Do you know who she
I
was?
don't know.
She was the
No,
lady supposedly at January 6th that got shot in the face and died.
you're kidding. What the
Nope.
hell? So,
So she was
okay.
recently filmed at a Trump rally. It was an interesting video. She was standing there cheering, clapping and all that. And then I guess they saw her that she was on the camera, and she just sank down into the crowd and just poof disappeared.
Uh, oh, I don't know what to think about that. What's your conclusion on that, John?
I don't know. I don't know. Big hoax, I guess. Maybe it was paintball that she got shot with, right? I don't know.
Well, and the media portrayed that he died to point it on Trump. Oh, Trump, blah 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 blah.
Well, they keep talking about the deaths. They don't like to talk about Ashley Babbitt because she was actually shot by a CIA agent,
Oh,
one of the Secret Service, I believe. So yeah, it's bizarre. There's a couple more comments about Trump with saying Epstein was a good guy. Yeah, he said a lot of stupid stuff. I can't deny that. He supports confiscation of property during travel. I don't know.
huh. This I know that John F. Kennedy Jr. also goes to the Trump rally with the wife.
Oh
They
yeah.
both, yeah, they went in. It was the plane crash. Yeah, supposedly he died in the plane crash, but he
Yeah.
was running for senator against Hillary Clinton, and we all know Hillary Clinton's track of that. So
Yeah.
he knew. He found out they're gonna be setting him up, and he faked his death to go on the ground with his wife and the wife's sister. And what I understand, he does visit the Trump rally in disguise. His name is Vincent Fusca, and translate that means conqueror of the dark. And he did had a quote before he died, or in the wind in the plane crash. Supposedly, he said he's gonna do everything to find out who killed his father, even if he have to bring down the whole government himself.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
There's the QAnon, but apparently that got infiltrated quite early on. So there was a lot of disinformation put out.
They're still active. The real Q team, they're active. They also have the looking glass technology. They're playing
Well, there would be a lot of
5
there would be a lot of mimicking disinfo, and CIA and those three-letter agencies, they can get total control on your internet and even your IP address and all that. They can track you back. They can find almost anything. There's a link if you want to jump up, Andy or Scotty, or no, anybody. Have your input on here. Yeah, so Trump's still I back and forth in my brain. He hurts my brain all the time thinking about him because he's it's true, because he's done some good things and he said some pretty bad things, and he's done some bad things for for business, in a business sense.
That's the thing, I found out that the Trump father, what he portrayed, middle name is Christ and the mother is Mary, but
Yeah.
Trump real father. Trump real father, you know who he is?
Who?
I have to look for the name. It's a general. And if you look up, I'm gonna check the name. If you look it up, you see this general, you will look. It looks
Okay.
same as Trump.
General
Okay, I'm gonna
MacArthur? Is it MacArthur?
no,
MacArthur?
no. It's one that was in World War II.
Yeah, that was
A famous.
MacArthur.
No, it's not MacArthur. That doesn't ring
Okay.
in my head.
Okay.
Let
Have
me
you
see.
seen the videos where they've aged Zelensky, and he looks almost exactly like Schwab?
Oh yeah, but Klaus Schwab is actually a Rothschild.
Yeah.
He's, it's General George S. Patton.
Patton. Okay.
George, yeah,
Let's
Patton.
check out Patton.
Look at General Patton. Yeah, and tell me that he doesn't look like Trump.
Go to images. Okay. Yeah, so Zelensky and oh yeah, he very much does.
Yeah,
Same
I'm
eyes,
watching.
the eyes, the chin. Yeah, very much.
Yeah,
I'd say that there kind of looks a lot like him. Let's see what they've got him in a portrait here. Right there in this this photo, he looks very much like Trump, I would say. Let me open that up.
yeah. I'm not saying Trump is the savior. He's just doing his part. We have to do our part too. You know.
Yeah, that's true in anything. We have to refuse civil disobedience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say yes on that. What do you guys think in chat there? What are you saying?
So apparently, I found
Looks
out
like
that
Mussolini too. He does.
if Mussolini was in the U.S. Army.
Let's put all this Trump savior aside. He ran the country better than the last few presidents. That is true. He did a lot for
Oh yeah.
Canada as well. He actually helped out Canada's economy with the Keystone Pipeline being restarted. And then they stopped it down shut it down as soon as Biden got in. There's
Oh
Indy.
yeah. Yeah, Trump did a lot for the he did for the America, America first. So that was very
Yeah.
good,
He also pulled
And
out of, what was it, the WHO or one of them. I think it was the
yeah,
WHO that he stopped funding.
yeah,
I like seeing that kind of thing,
yeah,
Hey, while we're on,
How you doing, Indy?
all right,
yeah.
about to make some coffee, but while we was on this topic about who's real daddy, I want you to pull up Chelsea Clinton and a guy named Webster Hubble, Hubbel, and you tell me if that doesn't look like her dad. And they're tied. He's tied to the Clintons.
Okay, what was his name?
Webster Hubble.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I encountered that information too.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
He's the maker of the Hubble
Is it-
telescope, supposedly.
I don't think so, but he might be related.
Okay, let's see. Am I showing him?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Next
Let's
to
see.
Chelsea. They got some pictures where they got the same face.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Yeah.
Webster Harp. Oh, let's see what this says. Yeah, they got the same droopy lip, eh?
The chin,
Yeah.
the mouth. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And you know another one I'm convinced of is the Grandma Bush, Barbara Bush, and Aleister Crowley.
Oh,
They have
dear.
a tie. Yeah, they have a tie with
1, 2.
Barbara Bush's mom. apparently spent like a weekend. They were doing a little orgy with Aleister Crowley around the time that would have lined up with her birth. They look exactly alike.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. I like the Zelensky one and Schwab. That's hilarious. You know.
Oh, you have also Zelensky and George Soros, but they're actually family.
Yeah,
They're
George
family.
Soros.
They're
Yeah.
nephew or cousin or something.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, they're family.
The amount of people that get into these positions that are, interrelated and bastard children and stuff. It's hilarious.
And I'll
So
tell
yeah,
you
Droopy,
another
Droopy
one.
Lip here in Chelsea for sure.
Yeah, they look alike.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another one. When I was looking into that Comet Ping Pong guy, James, I was trying to find out his parents, and the only thing I could find was a random Reddit post. But I'd looked this stuff up back in like 2016, 2017, and I think he is a Rothschild
Yeah, he is.
son.
The one of Comet Ping Pong. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is. Look into that too. Yeah.
He looks. I think the name is Philippine Rothschild would be the mom. But you go to his wiki page, he has no information about his parents, birthplace, none of that.
Here's Zelensky and Soros. You can definitely see they're the same. Justin Trudeau and Fidel Castro.
Oh yeah, you can go deeper. You heard about the Podesta brothers?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of them is the father of the lead singer of Linkin Park that passed away after he was working on, you can say, pedo documentary, child trafficking. He and two other famous people in band that were working on it passed away 3 months after one another. It was Chester of Linkin Park.
Yeah. Bennington.
Yeah, Bennington. Look at that.
Okay.
And the other guy was Chris Cornell, who was the lead singer of Soundgarden. I think he died a year to the day after Chester. And it was one of those belts over the back of the closet door jerking off stories, which we've heard about 3 or 4 times from people. So I think he was taken out.
So Rockefeller's late grandson, Lawrence Rockefeller, White House advisor, John Podesta, and late Linkin Park lead singer Chester Bennington are directly related, contrary to rumors on social media. Okay. Uh-huh. So yeah. Yeah, we believe that. Yeah, same nose, same chin, same. That's the same.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, all of it is going to come out.
So Trump and Patton, that's hilarious too. Oh my God. Chris Collin was going to call it. Oh.
Another story I heard, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently one of Trump's uncles, older uncles, obviously, but was apparently the one in charge of confiscating Nikola Tesla's documents and papers after he died.
Yeah,
and if you know the movie Back to the Future 2, they got a character in there, the Biff character. He looks a lot like Trump. And he's in there. He's got a book that has it's a sports almanac. So he's betting on sports, but he has all the games. He's, like a time traveler.
Oh, time traveler. Yeah, they say Trump is like a time traveler because of the book that talk about the last president and what's called his youngest son. Forgot his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baron
That,
Trump Adventure or something. A book that was wrote like 100 years ago.
yep.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it
The
could be.
Last President, I think it's called.
Yeah, the last
Last
president.
American President or something, yeah.
Yeah. So it could be. I'm pretty sure they have the time travel
Oh
machine.
yeah,
They have one.
yeah. That's right, Scotty boy. Baron Trump was the book.
Yeah, Baron Trump.
Yeah, and the
Michael.
story with Melania Trump, apparently he met her. She was working at Mar-a-Lago, I guess, which to me, you got a young girl working at Mar-a-Lago. How you definitely tied in with Epstein. I think she's an Epstein girl.
I thought she was one of Putin's girls or something.
Well, no, with Melania, I don't think the story is correct. What what I understand, she's a Pleiadian, and with Trump and Epstein, well, in the beginning, Epstein was coming there, but as one of the party, Epstein tried to go physical with one of Trump's friend's daughter, and since then, Trump banned him. He was banned from Mar-a-Lago, and Trump also in a court testified against him one time, and a lot
Yeah,
of people know about.
that's true. Yeah, I heard that myself.
Well,
Both of those
here's
stories
my
are
problem
correct.
with Trump, though. He when he became president, there's a judge named Acosta who was the guy who got Epstein the house arrest sweetheart deal on his 2008 conviction. And Trump, when he got president, he upgraded him into the federal system. Basically,
Yeah.
gave him a promotion. And he's not once said a bad word about Jelaine or Epstein. Even when he's asked directly, he doesn't give a. He
Well,
gives a
depending
roundabout.
what you saw, because I saw a video that he describing like talking about them. They say that what happens on that island is very horrible and things
Yeah, I've
like
seen
that.
that as well. I've seen that
Yeah,
too.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So the
but
news
yeah,
report.
apparently
Well, maybe so.
he did kick him out of his restaurant for hitting on a young girl.
Yeah.
Okay, but he was president for 4 years. Why we didn't have no arrest? We had the Epstein list in. Why it didn't come out?
Yeah,
Well,
good point.
I don't know if you know. There's a lot of arrests that happened. There was a lot of CEO of top companies that stepped down coincidentally, one after the other. So there has been a lot of arrests that happened. I think when he was in the presidency in 3 months, there were 900 pedophiles that were arrested. And he also passed the law against
I do
anti-human
remember
trafficking.
something about that. I do remember something
Well,
about that.
what's up with Bill
But I do
Gates?
have I do have some insights into how Trump gets his women. He actually approaches. When I was young, there was a girl I knew who was approached by him, and he sets them up in hotels. That's why he has so many hotels, because he has free room and board for girls to take. He
Yeah,
just
that
takes
Stormy
them.
Daniels is from my little town out here.
Yeah,
I found it weird. Yeah.
yeah. He likes average girls. He doesn't seem to go for the bought and paid for ones. He likes them, like city girls that can be kept. He just keeps them, as far as I understand it.
Although that part I don't know about. That's new to me. I don't
Yeah,
know about that.
yeah. I knew a girl that was approached by him
But he doesn't treat them
for
bad.
just such a purpose, you know.
But he doesn't treat them bad. But I
No,
hate
he
them
treats
or-
them quite well, actually. Apparently, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I understand. He's a gentleman. I put it that way.
Now, that's my direct experience with what I've heard and seen.
Yeah, I don't believe he's a racist because I been called Nazi because I've been supporting him since 2016 because I knew about Obama and Hillary Clinton track record. What Benghazi and Hillary Clinton Foundation and Obama, all
Yeah,
Obama likes and shit, you know. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna support them.
Now, his
But
actions in office, he did give realtors, I think, a tax break of some sort so that he could make more money or others could on real estate transactions. There was something done there. I can't remember what. But that was the, as far as I have followed, the only corrupt type of thing I've seen him do in office.
okay. Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Yeah, well,
That could be.
yeah.
I don't know. I know things were much better when he was in office. No wars, nothing. No sending American money to Ukraine
Yeah.
for the most corrupt
Now
country.
you
If it
wonder
was
how he stops those wars. Is it scripted? Is it does he have some secret power of Tesla's technology or something? I've often I postulate the idea maybe he goes into these negotiations and says, "So you see your aid right there? Watch this, poof," and the guy disappears or something.
I don't know. I know Trump is straightforward. He doesn't bullshit around. So for him, he wants to end it clean and fast. You know.
Got a pound of shrimp peeled. Still gotta bread them though. Nice. I don't like shrimp. Little water bugs.
I love shrimp. Well, I'm a coon now, so that's what we do here.
Yeah, see, okay, they want us to eat bugs, but when you eat shrimp, what do? You take it out of its shell and you devein it, right? You're not just going to chomp down on that shrimp, right?
But dude, it's so delicious.
Yeah,
It really is.
But you're not going to eat its shell and guts and all, right?
No.
Right? But that's what they expect you to do with bugs. And they're basically the same thing.
Well, my example that I like to use is crabs.
Yeah.
Crabs is nasty to tear into, no doubt.
Yeah.
But the meat, goddamn, the meat's good, bro.
Yeah. See, if they deveined and deshelled the crickets, they'd be, maybe tastier or better for you. I don't know.
Yeah, I ain't eating no goddamn bugs, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
used to eat crayfish.
Sorry. John, can you check a picture of John F. Kennedy graveyard? From high above. That's the graveyard?
JFK at Arlington National Cemetery. Yep, I believe so. Here we go. There's a look at the stonework around it. Are you hoping to get a Google view of it, like an Google Earth view?
Just search the same, but put a Q on the side.
What do you mean?
Just the letter Q.
Say that again. I didn't catch that.
The letter Q. Just put the letter Q on the side.
On the side of what?
On the sentence. Where you writing there? Just put Q.
Okay.
Above. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. There we go. Let's get that in view. Switch that up.
Does it look like a Q?
Yeah, it does. It's funny. Yep, looks like a Q, kinda. It's got a couple things sticking out from it, but let's see here. I was wondering if there was anything in the stonework too. In there. I go to Google Earth. Do it that way.
But that's what I want to say. It looks like a Q. If you look at the Princess Diana cemetery, it's the same. Why? And I think JFK too.
John
Around that
Kennedy.
time, what I understand, the Q team were formed is when they went after JFK. That's why they leave their imprint there. They're going to be working behind the scenes.
That's an interesting one. Let's see. Arlington. Let's see if we can find it here. Big cemetery.
Yeah, big one. But the picture you showed before, it showed it as a cube.
There we
And
go.
the print,
Found it. It's way over there. Oh, cool.
yeah.
Getting close here. No, can't see the stonework that well. Just looks like a random pattern. Thought they might put something in there if they were going to use some symbology. They do have an eye here, or an eye shape, right?
Yeah. Like it's watching.
Could be. That's neat. Okay.
But you
Yeah,
see
that's
a
huge.
cube
That-
in there, no?
Yep, definitely see a Q. This one kind of interested me too. Looks like some of the groundwork I've seen in China. But that's really pretty.
Oh, that's a cool place.
Civil War Unknown Memorial. Fort Myer. Well, that's quite a runway.
I know in Arkansas there's an airport there called the Clinton Airport.
Potomac Park. See, now you tell me this isn't. Oh God, yeah. This is very reminiscent of a lot of the setup of the old world, and like places like Astana. They have these. What is this?
But
What is
Astana
this?
is, you're talking about Kazakhstan, right? They have like
Yeah.
new buildings there, like with
Oh yeah.
pyramids.
But it's mirrored off the old world setup, right? Just like this.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. You know, they've got. We looked at this before. I think that there's owls in this. All kinds of symbology in here. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the
Oh yeah.
Washington Monument. The layout of the causeway to the monument. There's your some type, almost looking like some type of a power induction thing, you know. And these monuments, wherever they put up these monuments, sometimes they find that you have people having inspirational thoughts and stuff. A lot of inventors and stuff have lived around a lot of these large monuments that they put up. It's kind of
okay.
neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see.
Yeah, interesting place with the shape. You see it from when you're on the ground, you wouldn't see it. Only when you're above, you can see it. You know.
Yeah. That's weird. Weird stuff they set up.
Yeah, it looks like a motherboard.
It does. Let's see what's going on here. Diamond pattern on the grass. Yeah. I'm sure there's an owl shape somewhere in there. They always love putting in their owl.
Oh yeah, they love using the owl symbol
Yeah.
because they can see what we cannot see. They see in the dark. Well, they do shit in the dark. Oh yeah. Oh hey,
Nose.
Amber, Dawn Rising, blessing.
Oh, hi, Amber. Good to see you, hon. No says he's eaten a fair few bugs, but they weren't lab grown or farm raised. Farmed insects intentionally. I might as well eat lab mouse meat. Yeah, that's disgusting. My daughter's eaten a few bugs in her day. They had her. They tried to acclimatize her to it in school. She said it was okay, but you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I know now in Australia they're pushing that on the on the children to get used to, oh, it's not that it's delicious, it's good for you, but it's not really good for you.
Well, it isn't, and they just put a bunch of spices on it. They don't really have much flavor at all, really. So it's just whatever spices you put on it, pretty much. So if you were to eat them by themselves, they're kind of tasteless, apparently. Maybe a little bit like a nut flavor.
Yeah, cold-blooded animals eat reptiles and amphibians.
Didn't know that. What
Yeah,
about
like
cats?
frogs and lizards.
What about cats? They'll eat just about anything.
Yeah, but cats are weird, man. They really are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
I imagine most scavengers would probably eat just about anything, though. Whatever they could catch.
True.
We do have some specialized eaters, though. Some of the cats are only meat eaters, but I imagine in a pinch they'd eat a frog or something if they had to, but probably wouldn't be their choice.
Yeah, I don't think so. No. The cats here, they wouldn't eat frogs.
Yeah.
Only if they want to have a stomach problem afterwards.
Yeah, lizards are okay eating, and birds are okay eating bugs, but I don't think anything else would really fare too well on a diet of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Kill them with poison gas, and then poison when we eat them. Yeah. What do you feed the Max? Mrs. Max is in charge of that. I'm in charge of the treats. So. That's cool that your parents are buried next to the unknown soldier there. That's cool.
Oh yeah. You know what I found out too? I know that's gonna come to the news. If you bury a loved one in your yard, for the rest of your life, your house is tax free. You don't have to pay any taxes on the house. Ever again.
Huh.
But you have to bury it in your yard.
Okay. If that got out, there'd probably be a lot of murders.
Yeah.
Imagine that you own like a few hundred out here, like the taxes are ridiculous. If you had like a farm size area out here, you'd be paying 30,000-50,000 in taxes a year. Having a dead relative on the land would be really beneficial.
Yeah. if you know, you can, but it has to be natural, no? Not that you're gonna kill some. There's gonna be investigation. You're not gonna get far. But
Do
yeah,
it slow over a couple of years, you know.
yeah, you see a confirmation from Scotty. Scotty heard it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Wow.
I saw I saw one person in America. They buried their dead in the yard, and yeah, she
Well,
didn't have to pay taxes anymore.
in Canada, pets are considered family. So I
Oh,
wonder if you could bury a pet and get by on that law. Put up a gravestone. Well, you know, I got a
that's
couple
something.
dead. I got a couple dead cats in jars I could bury somewhere. You know, make it into a grave site.
You can do that. That you have to look in the laws there. If
Maybe.
they consider pets, because we're mammals, so cats are mammals too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Cats and dogs are pets in Canada are considered members of the family. You can be charged legally for not taking them to the doctor and stuff like that, and
oh
abusing them.
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canada next level.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a money-making scheme for veterinarians or something there.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah.
You know, because animals were doing fine on their own. They needed to get you know, those injections in them and stuff,
Yeah.
and all those medications. Like when we got our cat, we were liable for all the shots that they get um, on paper. If we didn't ensure that we were going to get those shots for the cat, we wouldn't get the cat.
Yeah.
They're very strict on it. Yeah. Now, if you find a cat on the street, you can pick it up, take it home, and nobody's the wiser, and nobody says anything. But if you buy a cat, yeah, it was a rescue cat. So
Oh, okay.
whether I rescued it or not, it would have gotten its shots. So. But now it doesn't get very many of them at all, if any, because they don't need them.
Yeah, they don't.
Oh yeah, what Scotty says, no taxes and the bank cannot take your property away from you.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
You see, those are the things that you don't tell us at school. You know.
Hope they're all cursed. Oh, Dolly. Wouldn't be bringing home any more strays. Yeah, pick out your favorite place in the backyard, Grandpa. We can't make the mortgage.
Yeah.
Nicely put, Scotty. And if they're not allowed to leave, then most animals will eat the dead one eventually. Oh, lovely. What are you talking about, no? It's easy. Poison delivery. Kill them bugs with poison gas. Poison us. Hold on, that's not it. My cats wouldn't eat me. Oh, my cats probably would. If they get hungry enough, they'll eat anything. Yeah. Yeah, they do. That's right. No, they do eventually eat the dead one. Unfortunately. But, yeah. There was a story of a dog that got trapped under a porch and ate its own leg to survive. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Damn. I never heard that. Damn.
I don't know. I think a dog, when it gets hungry enough, might eat you after you're dead.
Well, some
Some dogs, after they give birth, they'll eat their own puppies for some reason.
Hmm. Yeah, the same thing kind of happens to people. They reject their own offspring. It's very rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's nasty. A lot of animals do that, though. They'll eat their young spiders. A lot of animals can be carnivores.
Hey, that might be the next wave of sustainable. After smart cities, they'll start telling us we have to grow our own food, right?
Yeah. Or start farming each other.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to push for, because they're still cutting off the fertilizer and stuff. It'll take a year or so to kick in. The third world will be starving, but we'll probably still have food, but the price of it will be outrageous. Even now, or during the pandemic, there were people starving in Africa. They lost millions to starvation. So that's all part of clearing out the land, right? Because there's resources that the Chinese want in there. Right now, they're making deals with these African countries now to come in and help, build up infrastructure and stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing that just so they can get the resources.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh yeah, and they're scooping up all the fish right now too. They've got these gigantic floating cities, basically, out in the oceans, just trolling the entire bottom, taking everything up. They put electric nets down there, so anything that hits the net, it's gonna float up, into the net. So they're scooping everything from the top to the bottom, and doing it on a massive scale, which destroys all the life forms that are living on the bottom, as well as just scooping up all the fish. So they're planning on running out of fish pretty soon, I think, or you better plan on it, because it's going to happen.
Well, this fish farm, then you have to, like the aquaponic system that you
Yeah.
use water, vegetable and fish.
Yeah, there's a guy I watched in Australia. He's growing his own food fish. You have to have like a bunch of tanks. He grows all kinds of different fish. So some of them are for food, some of them are for selling. Not the artificial, like the show fish. The ones that are just for show and not for eating.
Yeah, I went deep in that. I went to school in Florida in 2017 to learn all about aquaponics. I planned on doing that before the pandemic hit. That was kind of my plan, and it's a great idea. Be doing it everywhere.
When I was growing plants myself in a hydroponic system, the only thing I used was fish emulsion. So just ground up fish in the water. You could kind of do something like that with fish in the water.
Yes, it's the poop.
Mm-hmm.
You keep the fish alive in a tank, and the poop filters down, and it breaks down in the biological filter, and then you skim off your excess waste from that. You can use that on ground plants. Because you're gonna have some extra to seep off, so your system doesn't get septic.
Yeah.
But then that becomes land use fertilizer.
Neat.
So it really is a good system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you need to set something up like that.
Yeah, a lot of people gonna go now are trying to, produce their own thing, that direction I think we need to go. Most of the food that we're getting are good food.
Yeah, this winter I'm going to set up a little spinach garden in my window, growing spinach.
Okay. spinach.
Yeah, it's high iron, and I need that. So, and I use
Yeah.
ormus in the soil, so it gets a lot of nutrients. That's what ormus was originally invented for, or discovered for, was farming, because of all the nutrients gone out of the soil. So you can grow a regular green, and you wouldn't believe how dark it gets. It's amazing. A lot of magnesium in it as well, but our soil's depleted in that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So all the micronutrients have been leached out of the soil. And these monatomic elements that you can get from dissolving down regular. You can dissolve down just about anything and get orms. They're just orbitally rearranged monatomic elements. So you just break them down into their base elements, and they're pretty much absorbable by any life form, but farming is what it's really intended for.
Okay. Yeah, herself I have the moringa plant. It's known as the tree of life. Grows very fast.
Yeah, I have moringa powder, actually. I take that every once in a while. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You're growing some?
Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah, it's like a bush, eh? Is
Well,
like
it grows. Well, it's big. Dude, it grows
It's
really
dead.
fast.
Okay.
No, it's big. It's big. It's big. It has a lot of well, it's not bush type. Well, depending how you see it.
Yeah.
It has a lot of seeds.
Okay.
Yeah, seeds with with small leaf. Small leaf.
Okay.
The leaf
Yeah,
are
I know
very
the
small.
leaves are tiny. Do you eat the seeds
Yeah.
too, or?
Yeah, the seeds are very good. Yes, the seeds.
Okay.
Yeah, very high in mineral content. Is I think 10 times better than spinach. Um,
Oh wow.
and yeah, it has high in iron and minerals. It's one of the best plants out there. That's why it's called the tree of life.
What? Scotty boy? They use talpia. What's talpia? To clean sewer plants. Talpia?
Oh, that's like I think that's a fish. Tilapia is a fish, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what's talpias. That I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay, I get what you mean. They are a garbage fish. A lot of them come from the Magong River in China. Or the Magog or Magong. Yeah, I don't eat. I tried it once, Scotty boy. My throat almost swelled up. I had to spit it out. Horrible fish. Yeah, they fake it a lot too. They use tilapia and color it and tell you it's a different fish too. There's a lot of fake fish out there.
Oh yeah. I don't know with the fishes in the Pacific, because they are like I don't know, contaminated to the Fukushima.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be eating nothing from the Pacific.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like I eat lake fish because of the runoff. I have a little faith in that, but I know that they're still polluting. But there's no getting away from it, really, the way they're polluting through the skies. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm lucky to be in the Caribbean Sea. It's not that polluted here, compared to the other places.
Yeah, we get a lot of Pacific and Atlantic salmon in the stores, and that's all pretty much polluted.
Okay. Oh yeah, have you encountered a story of this was happening for a month, that a village in Peru was getting attacked by a 7-foot floating alien creature that's peeling people's
No.
face off?
No, I watched the Texas one last night though, with the
What was
alien
it
creature, the alien creature that landed in Texas, and
Really?
a farmer caught video of it. I don't know if I can get that one quickly. It's a really cool video, like really pretty convincing.
Damn.
Let's
Okay, I
see.
didn't hear of the Texas one. I heard of the one in Peru. Apparently, I saw military, I think, was called in.
Okay, this was a 911 call, actually. Let's see.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, there's the Peru one. Okay, I don't think that's a different one. Let's see if that's the same one. I might be mistaken. Did they do a 911 call?
I don't think they have 911 call in Peru. I don't know how they do it there, to tell you the truth.
Let's see if
It was a village. I think a
Yeah,
remote
this is
village.
Yeah, this is different footage than I saw.
The Peru, see, Scotty says the Peru one is happening to a lot of bodies. So, Scotty, I imagine you're aware of that too? Scotty, very up to date with things, I see. Hey, the ocean in the house. Blessing.
Hi, D. Good to see you, huh? Let's see. Yeah, this isn't the footage I saw. The footage I saw was very clear. It was like about an 8 or 9 foot tall creature with long fingers, an oddly shaped head. Totally different. Let's see if I can find that. Should have. I would have saved that if I was confident I could have shared it.
Dolly, you think that one is staged? Yeah, it could be. But I know about cryptic beings like Dogman. What's else? Dogman, werewolf, the Skinwalkers, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti. All of them are real. All of them are real. I know they're very real. There have been sightings of different type of cryptic beings all over the world. I think that also is going to come through the light. I think it was Amber that told me in Nevada they had a Sasquatch warning there. So when does that happen? That's not normal. Or maybe there was too many sightings there that are coming out now. Well, yeah, those cryptic beings are real. Where they come from, I don't know.
Well, there could be many different types. There's there are government created aliens, the chimeric type, they bred them. Unresponsive.
Oh yeah,
of course.
Yeah, you have the genetically
and then there's
hybrid.
the real ones. They can use the mutants. The mutants they have down in the bottoms of the military bases. Now they could have aliens down there or mutants. I think they look very similar, so that's the problem. Is telling the difference, right? So because they can make creatures that look like aliens to fool us,
Yeah.
Oh, my page is having trouble here.
Well, that's the thing. Next year I think the alien topic is gonna go very mainstream. But everything is gonna backfire on them. Same with the convict.
Yeah, they are really pushing it now. They've had a couple of big things in Congress about it.
Yeah.
Well, are we on the same page about clones? That they're cloning people?
Oh yeah, you have that too.
I've heard of cloning.
Yeah. So if we got all this alien right, then clones have to depth picture. I don't see how people could believe in aliens and not cloning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Both of them are real. What I encounter, the Hollywood is very deep in the cloning factory, and Disney too. I saw something that Disney admitted that a lot of their celebrities, stars there, are created in a lab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, be right back.
Let's see.
Yeah, I wasn't on board on the cloning thing until about a year ago. I started seeing enough suggestive evidence to like, okay, something's going on here.
Recently, I was looking at Biden. Biden's got two different earlobes. He's got one that's cinched right to his head, and then he's got another one where he's got a looping earlobe, one that hangs down. So there's definitely more than one Biden. Whether they're clones or doubles, not really sure. But they do look like very much alike. Could be clones.
Yeah, I've seen two different pictures of Melania Trump too. Like very distinctive. The way her eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, people have seen that with Trudeau too. There's more than one Trudeau. So these people, they obviously do a lot of faking of stuff. Like if I were Trudeau right now, I would want my double to go to all of the. There's Barack Obama. I make love to men daily in my mind. Where is it?
Yeah, that dude. I'll tell you, the day he really sealed his fate, as far as my opinion goes of him, was after when Fukushima went down. He came out in a press conference and told people, we don't, basically told people you should not take precautions.
Who said that?
Well, Obama.
Oh, yeah.
We do not expect the radiation control. We do not. Yeah. We do not recommend that people take precautions. I was like, why would you not take precautions? That's when I knew. Plus, he was out of the country. He went down to Brazil with his family for the first week after that. They went directly to Brazil for a vacation.
Yeah, they had a black president for 8 years, and he did absolutely nothing to improve the conditions of black people's lives. Not that I think they really need that much. I think they just need to stop being in a victimhood state. You know, that's what Morgan Freeman pretty much says.
Aside from only half of his color, he's not a black person. He don't live like a black guy. You know.
No.
Apparently, he's a cousin of I think Cheney, Dick Cheney. I think.
Yeah, born into the club, right? So it's a big club, and none of us are in it. You know?
His mom sounds like a one of those early beta sex kitten types.
Oh yeah,
like one of those like a sex worker that they would use to like kind of like how they. Remember back in the day, it used to be you didn't want a politician, they'd always get caught with a prostitute, right? But now nobody cares about that anymore. But she would have been like one of the early setup subjects to use for like sex things and shit. She's got some naked picture stuff, from back in the day.
Yeah, they say the Britney clone is pretty popular. She gets downloaded and abused every night or murdered.
Yeah.
And they make another one, and her
I'm supposed to be related to her. I live my mom went to school with her mom, I live 10 minutes away from Kentwood, which is really where she's from. She claims Magnolia, Mississippi, but that's really just 5 miles to the north of Kentwood. But yeah, we're supposed to be related on my dad's side. Distant cousins type thing.
Huh.
But yeah, she definitely lost her mind. I know that.
Yeah.
And also her first husband, the guy that she married, that they made her get a divorce from, he's from this area, and because they went to school together, and he's real good friends with another friend of mine who lives down the road. And I watched some interviews with his best friend talking about some of the stuff, you know, the Illuminati related stuff around Britney, and he was name dropping and everything, and like we were talking about earlier about the pedo stuff. He mentioned a couple of names like the Maloof brothers, who they owned like the Sacramento Kings basketball team, and apparently they were definitely around Britney a lot in the early years there, doing their little orgy thing, you know.
Right, D? Good one.
It's sick, man. There's no good stories that come out of all that shit.
Yeah, if there's nothing to worry about, he's just full of shit. But yeah, you could see he was an establishment dude right from the beginning.
Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now they're he has speeches he goes to, and apparently right now, well, I heard it. I watched one. They're saying fuck Joe Biden at his rallies,
Let's go,
at his
Brandon.
speeches. Yeah, no, fuck Joe Biden. Straight up. They're not even, you know, they're not even hiding it anymore. So I have hope. It does seem to be breaking through. People are understanding the system we're under. Time for Babylon, I think. That's what they have to pretty much do, is Babylon at this point. We may have the possibility of doing that too. With their 5G grid, they could scramble your brain and mess with your speech centers.
Well, and the longer we sit around waiting on and just going by their timeline, we're just giving them more time to set up all these things.
Yep.
We should have stepped up and cut the head off of this snake a long time ago. We'd all be living a good life right now, I believe.
Well, the wireless was under attack from the beginning, but they pushed it through. They held off all the court cases. Like there's a Nokia court case that has just been litigated, or in the process of being litigated, from 20 years ago. So they hold off these court cases, and then they just plow ahead with the infrastructure.
Well, that's what Google's doing right now. They're actually in an active lawsuit that's not even going to be going to trial until like 2024, 2025.
Right.
And we see everything they're doing.
And they'll push it on further. I've seen the program they use. They just push it ahead. You know.
Well, that's ridiculous. Something that happened under Trump too, was this 5G thing. That happened on his watch.
Yeah.
That was a gift of Verizon. You know, I'm not a Trump supporter, or like even in the early days. I'll tell you what, I had a video on my channel where they were covering a Trump rally, and the news guy actually said out of his own mouth, because I had the video up, it's deleted now, but Trump didn't get in. Trump got into the election because of a phone call from Bill Clinton urging him to run.
Oh wow!
So, and he ran, running as a Republican.
I've heard several different stories of who got him to run. Though.
What's that? Yeah,
I've heard several stories of who called him, and I heard Mike Bannon did it. There was a couple of other people that claimed that they convinced him to run. So,
and he's also highly funded by that guy Sheldon Adelson, and that's one of the big. That's a big Epstein name too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the banks bailed him out way back in the 80s too.
Right. Yeah.
He had a big bank bailout. and so they probably have some power over him there. Again, it doesn't mean that somebody couldn't turn on the system,
Well,
become
that's
awoken.
yeah. That's the only thing I'll give you is that if you got your hope that he's going to get in there and turn tail on him and blow the whole thing up.
That's what he says he's
Okay.
doing. That's what he actually says he's going to do. But he said that before. He said he was going to drain the swamp, and he didn't do it. Right? That's one of the big. That's one of the big things that sticks in my craw, because he could have done it. He knows where the skeletons are buried.
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing. I understand that, but it was like for the 2020 election, it was divinely that he didn't get. Well, actually, he did one. Clearly, he did one. But now it went like this. Source, let it go like this, so people wake up. Now you're seeing the Supreme Court and court rejecting the evidence. So it's showing people everybody there is corrupt.
Yeah,
Everybody.
could be a long-term plan. It
Yeah.
It does seem that a
It's
lot of stuff is getting exposed, but we're so far into the rabbit hole, like we've found all the rabbits. Hopefully people are going to pay attention to the ones coming out and look deeper.
oh yeah. A lot of famous people is getting exposed. Like Oprah, he was like darling of everybody, and deep down she's a shit. So her ties are being exposed right now. Tom Hanks was exposed. So the little by little, everybody's got a lot of people already know about the Bidens and Hunter Biden. So
some big pluses for me were the Keystone Pipeline and backing out of the WHO. Was it? It was one of those organizations, one of those three-letter organizations he backed out of.
And he that's also, and he, when he got sick, he did mention something that he didn't take the jab, but he took something else that he was demonized for.
See, there are a lot of pluses. Like they're recently putting around now one of the debates that he did with Hillary, and talking about the deep state and the system, the corrupt system that the elites use, and they were accusing him of being corrupt, and he said, well, I just use the system. And he says, well, you use the system and I use the system, and I don't pay taxes because I'm smart and I use the system, but he alluded to that they have their own system. He's paid a lot of people a lot of money, he said, and and that's how things are done in the system.
I think
so he's exposing it and telling you that he's in it, and uses it. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe this time he might decide to take it down. I don't know. I'm still doubtful, but I have hope. It's always good to have some hope.
That's true. Hope will get you far in this world right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was hydroxychloroquine that they demonized him for.
Yeah, he did push the therapeutics as well when they made fun of him for the bleach idea.
Yeah. And they demonized Joe Rogan too for his thing that he was a horse dewormer that he used. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that either,
Yeah. I looked up a few of these systems that Trump was alluding to. There was one system that had a light in it, and what they did is they inserted it into a vein, and you cycled the blood through it, and the light cleared up bacteria and other toxins. Pretty interesting idea. So there were a lot of interesting ideas out there in the beginning that got squashed.
Yeah. Wonder why.
Hopium is okay, but opium is better. Yeah, you got to smoke a little. Got to smoke a little bit of the hopium. Helps you make it through the day.
Yeah.
I have seen the power of the people saying no work. It worked in my city for masking. It worked for critical race theory. It's going to work for sexualizing children as well. We have a pretty tough city. We're kind of the mirror opposite of that city that they were talking about, Toronto. They're a very liberal city. This city mostly votes New Democratic Party, the NDP, which is supposed to be a workers' party. It's not, but people are convinced that it is because that's their platform. So that's what they're voting for, but they're not getting it, But yeah, we have like total opposite cities next to each other, which is interesting. Everything's being implemented in Toronto, and pretty much none of it's being accepted in this city.
That's good.
Yeah, blood cleaning can help. Yeah, just inject bleach. No, that wasn't the idea. I don't think. But
Oh yeah, that's what they said. No? You bleed. You bleed. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Not a
Well,
Rogan
I'm just
fan
very,
either. No. What's that?
yeah, I'm just very disappointed that when it came to talking about pricking 6-month-old babies, that people didn't get outraged about that either.
Well, and pregnant women, my God, like the
Yeah, I know.
yeah, I can't get too much into that, Indy. That's what I got my strike for. Yeah. So
Right.
don't get me
But
started.
that was the line for me
This
where
is
I was
for
like, that's
entertainment
where
purposes only.
hopium kind of took a hit,
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I look at the positives and negatives, and for me, with Trump, the positives do outweigh the negatives. I always give a person a chance of redemption. So there, we're supposed to be offering redemption to people uh, if they take it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, everything that's happening, I know it has been exposed. A lot of people been exposed, and a lot of things you're gonna not see it on the mainstream news.
Yeah.
And this with Dr. Fauci, he has been in the government for decades. Now everybody have known who he is and went to check his track record with AIDS and all the things he was leading off, and it showed that he's very corrupt and tied in with we call it the state. And also in Europe, there were about 2,000 people that were arrested, including the head of a vaccine company that they inject themselves with placebo, Celine. And they did, yeah, because they were
Yeah.
terrified of the real shit shot. So, but they
Yeah.
were arrested. But
Okay.
that was one of the.
Hmm.
So things are being done slowly.
Yeah. Well, and
Well, they
two,
just
also people were reacting to things in real time. Like we can take the example of the Ukraine war. At the beginning, yeah, there was a large mass of people moving towards the yes on that, right? But very quickly we saw that narrative turn where people weren't into it. I'm hoping that these awakenings will make people start questioning everything, and then we'll have a real-time reaction and information getting out, because people are listening to a lot more alternative thoughts on things now. Hopefully they're keeping up with those, with the current stuff, and just ignoring what the mainstream is doing, which that's happening as well too. The mainstream is kind of falling out of favor. So
well, that you
there
just
is.
said real time reaction. It's almost like this thing about everybody's third eye is going to awaken. That's kind of my hope, is in something like that. Like you said, with the
Mhm.
real time reaction. Like, it shouldn't take us 4 years of a crap president as an example, right? He should have been gone day 2 of
There are
crap.
still people that support him. There are still people out
Yeah.
there that think he's great, that the economy's better under Biden. They're in strong delusion, like the Bible says, right?
That's it. They have a psychological issue for sure. Yeah.
they've given up on God too. Many of them. They're pretty much the party of no religion. So, you know, maybe this is what it takes. You know, I knew it would have to get bad for people to wake up, but you know, and I bet it's still probably going to get worse because they're now at a desperation level where they're going to bring out the big guns, whatever they use, you know, whichever of the methods we know that they could use: alien invasion, war, virus, fake viruses, you know, they have their plethora of attack vectors. So, you know, get ready for a shit show come this fall because they're going to try to pull everything out. It's going to be like at the beginning of the pandemic. The news cycle is just going to every day something new, something new, something new, and it's going to be hard hitting and painful, probably, and probably deadly. Because we were talking earlier about all those meteors coming through this fall and this year, and they're probably, you know, they could use that energy as well as the energy they're emitting, and there are various emitters that they have around the world, HARP transmitters, and they can amplify this stuff and cause some real shitstorms. So the weather's also another vector.
Oh yeah. They have to control. They have to direct energy weapon.
Because they don't want to nuke the planet because they have to live on it too. So.
But that's the thing. I don't think they're going to be. Maybe there's going to be something that looks like a nuke. But I know the ETs. There's higher beings watching us, and they have been interfering a long time already. Disabling the nuclear facilities.
Yeah, we did a seminar or an intention for that, talking to them that you know, we can't have an alien race coming down and fixing our politics and fixing our world for us, but you know, if they could just, and we'll put out that intention again, if they could please stop the nukes from falling on us, you know, and maybe even take out the 5G towers when needed. That would be really helpful for us being able to free ourselves, because those chains are really tough chains to break.
Oh yeah, maybe with the 5G they can just change the frequency number, a more harmonious one, and
they could. All of these technologies could be repurposed easily into good stuff. Yeah. That's what we were promised from Popular Science magazine back in the 70s. That's how they actually started off pushing the idea of wireless technology, was because they were going to transmit a frequency that would make us happy.
No. Okay. You know what I mean?
So they even told you.
That's maddening about it is they talk up they just all this utopian, you know, vision, but we've gotten we've just gotten just the most negative everything out of all of it.
Absolutely.
Even our internet is great. Now we can't even. Now we're shadow banned and censored. Just like everything they gotta take a dump on, you know.
You're close to getting to the China version.
Yeah.
China.
Canada's we're almost in an internet prison in Canada. We'll see how that goes over the future, because they've installed bills to limit us and monitor us and all kinds of stuff. So.
Well, this is just to get the people angry to stand up, you know.
Yeah.
To say no. You know.
Yeah, we need peaceful non-compliance, not a revolution. They want a revolution because then they can instill martial law. Say that they can't handle it themselves, call in some UN troops. You know, it's that's what they're setting up with the WHO too. Is that when they call a pandemic, that they can demand your country do certain things to its public, regardless of your constitution or whatever. And if you don't comply, sanctions and possible UN intervention could be taken because of world health, right? You're endangering the world health. Time for us to invade your country. Yeah.
The UN is the cabal and the NATO is the cabal army.
Yeah.
I know that UN vehicles already in the Canada and the US too.
Yeah,
And
we make them here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we make them. So that's a lot of the video is of that.
Yeah, we've had
full of them.
the last hurricane we had. A friend of mine had them in his neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
The blue helmets or whatever.
Yeah. When you see them, run the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're not good, no? They're also into the human trafficking, all that, the whole UN shit.
Oh,
They have a dark side.
Everywhere they go, people go missing, women get raped, houses get stormed. Oh, they are the worst.
Yes.
They're a Stasi organization. You know?
Yeah. They need to get exposed to. Well, they're getting exposed. You see, a lot of things need to come to the light.
Yeah.
But right now, what I understand is also tension with Taiwan and China. There's tension there right now.
Yep.
So,
there's also with Poland is looking at moving into Ukraine. So right there, we've got nuclear bombs in Belarus because Putin moved those right there. We have that general from the there was that storming in the quote unquote storming into Russia that the Wagner group did, just a bunch of propaganda. I think they kind of screwed them there. I think they took a bunch of money to do it and then just said, okay, we're done. But there were also stories of the soldiers figuring out what was going on and getting upset. But either way, they've got a general there with a bunch of nukes. They've got a group in Belarus of Polish migrants, or they're native to the area for like generations, but they're Polish descent. They're an opposing political party that could be propped up and cause a lot of trouble. So they've got that area just primed to go off, and now they're pumping up, Taiwan, you know. So they're getting ready to pop off.
Yeah, this fall is going to be interesting. September going October, and November, those are going to be in December too. All of the oncoming months. And next year is going to be something else, especially with the eclipse that's going to mark an act in USA from X on the 8th of April 2024.
Okay.
So curious what's going to be happening around that day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, that marks the end of the 7 years from the. So hopefully, I'm waiting on that too as a positive sign of something. But next year is also the election year, so that's what I'm expecting, another bug to pop up, lockdown and all that kind of talk.
Yeah, just no election.
Yeah.
We're all mail-in. Yeah, if something doesn't happen, a big change, which I doubt it, I was planning to run for Aruba in political party. I would call it Make Aruba Great Again.
Good stuff. Yeah. Alex, you've probably got better ideas than any of the shitheads out there, and you know more about what's going on than any of these assholes too. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like the amount of money you could put in the pockets of the Aruban people, the improvements you could make. Like you could waste money on infrastructure like crazy if you could pull back all the money that these countries are putting out.
Oh,
you know,
dude, we'd all be living good. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I got a guy on my YouTube channel that runs. He talks about a lot of stuff like we talk about. He's running for, I think, mayor of Houston, Texas.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, Derek Bros is his name, and that's what we need, bro. I guess it's only hope with these elections is to get real regular people that are not in the club, you know. There's not much you can do once you get in there, but just get in there and at least, I don't know.
All right. I go there. I go for being the president of Aruba, and I go to make things, and I'm gonna cut out. I'm not gonna tell nobody, but if it's still active, we'll see. Because same with the Federal Reserve, it's nothing federal about it. It's a private company. Same with the Central Bank of Aruba. It's nothing. It's not from Aruba. It's from the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. So I will eliminate them and eliminate income tax too.
Mhm.
That's the first thing I will do. And Aruba had the oil refinery, but one of the best. Aruba was helping U.S. in the Second World War supplying oil, and that the German attacked Aruba too. But the oil refinery now is not active. I would turn the oil refinery into a hemp refinery, producing hemp,
Yeah.
hemp oil, and all sort of hemp
Yeah.
products.
Well, you could do both because there are good uses for oil, but
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
All the answers and solutions are we already know them. They're here. We're just not using them.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like in Cuba or Brazil. No, it's Brazil. In the Brazil rainforest now, they are erecting four gigantic towers to emit CO2.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Put your brain around that one for a sec, right? Like, you know, they know that CO2 is good for growing plants. That's what you want, right? So you could
Yeah.
take oil, coal, almost any of these fossil fuels, burn them, put them through scrubbers, you get clean CO2 out, and you feed that to the plants. You know,
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
greenhouse environment, you actually do. There are uses and machines that pump
Yeah.
CO2 in.
yeah. Most of them use propane. I did one with propane.
Okay.
It's basically just a burner. You just burn propane, and plants
Oh
just
yeah.
love
So
it.
it's burning oxygen to what's that, to CO2. But
Yeah,
yeah,
produce. Yeah,
that's the thing. It doesn't make sense, right? The plant use CO2 and turn it into O2,
yeah,
oxygen.
and
We use
apparently, yeah,
O2 produce. We are the other way around. So we need the plant. So easy solution: stop cutting the fucking plant. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. They just chopped down a whole ton of Scottish forest and rainforest to put up those windmills that they can get subsidies for.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That
You
doesn't.
know,
We live in a twilight.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when I went down my conspiracy rabbit
Hi, Queen
holes,
Peachy. Sorry, I didn't say hi.
that's
Say again.
that's when I went down my conspiracy rabbit holes, right? Looking
Yeah.
at everything, trying to figure out origins, motives, everything. The thing that I got to that made me stop looking, and this is basically where I've been ever since, was when I got down when the cutting down of the ancient trees. When I saw videos of just even my local area of them cutting down all the old cypress trees, it angered me on a level. It just explained everything to me.
Yeah, it should.
That's why I say all this stuff is satanic, because to me that was the epitome of a satanic agenda. Is the way that they cut down all the trees like that.
Doing it for climate change, you know, saving the earth by killing it, right? And typically in Earth's history, the CO2 levels have been much higher, much higher.
And you know, Silicon Valley in San Francisco, where all the tech companies are, it's built on top of, I forget what it used to be called before the Silicon Valley, but it was the most fertile agricultural valley. So they built it right on top of like the perfect growing spot for agriculture.
Yep. Same with where I live. They built a whole bunch of mega cities in this area.
Yeah.
And it was mostly orchard and cropland traditionally. And it's a warm area. Like it has a longer growing season than most areas in Canada. And they just put cities up. They're destroying farmland like crazy.
Yeah, it's disgusting, man.
Hmm.
I just feel bad for these kids, dude, that came into this world right now, because it sure is a shit show, even compared to my childhood, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we're
they,
humans, so some of us will suffer from it. Some of them will become stronger from it. You know, you're going to get a mix of everything, pretty much. You know, so I've seen some kids are actually getting stronger from it, especially in the schools. Uh, like boys up to 18 now are more conservative than they've been in 50 years. Alternately, women are more liberal now than they've been in 50 years, but eventually they're going to go look for their base man to be with. You know, biology
yeah,
will take its route.
they
You
have
know,
shown that, and it's sadly, but it's true, you know. Well, that's why we both, the man and the female, both need each other, you know. Cooperation. But I saw in I think it was they did not an experiment because it was a show, and it came down looked afterwards as an experiment how they put a group of men together and a group of women, and the women went bad for 1 month on the desert because they have to hug and all things like they were complaining, very emotional. The men had one problem, they resolved it real fast, you know, and they thrived there. They could have stayed there actually 1 more month, no problem. But the women, no, they lose weight, they went bad.
wow.
So
Well,
yeah, it showed that.
wasn't
Yeah,
that the story with the Canadian wildfires? Wasn't it? Wasn't it? Didn't they try to say that some of the fires started because they had a diverse firefighter group and it got out of control
Oh, I didn't hear
and they had to
that.
call men in?
Hmm.
Could have been a made up story, but it definitely rings true, you know.
Hmm.
yeah. They go onto the diversity thing. It's not you don't have to go on diversity. You have to go on qualification, not
Yeah,
diversity.
a lot of
It's
people
shit,
are
you
complaining
know.
about that now.
If,
About the and there are a lot of people are happy about the repeal. They've repealed in the states some of the was it the college uh,
The admissions.
affirmative actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people are actually very happy about that in the black community because they don't want the the stigma. It's a stigma. It's a detriment really because you're not if you're not qualified as other people when you enter some fields, you're going to fall behind and fail very quickly. You know, and they don't want that. They want equal chance, equal opportunity. Because they've got it.
Well, I
They
could tell you
already,
when I went to grad school, it was basically all whites. It was equal men and women, but we
yeah.
had no black students in grad school.
Hmm.
But we had plenty, in the regular classes in undergraduate. And
Yeah.
not to make fun or anything like that, but there definitely were some people in my classes who had problems with basic grammar,
Yeah.
and it's sad.
Yeah. Up here, it usually ends up being because the population of black people is only around 10% in Canada. So what we see is like, for every 10 people that are white that get into a grad school, you'll see one black person.
Yeah.
That's just because of the demographics. I haven't noticed any, like, because I grew up with the 10% in school. I didn't notice any difference myself. So they did just as well as everybody else, you know.
Yeah. Where I live now, it's 53% blue.
Yeah. Now that's a divergence of if that's happening now.
Yeah.
In the colleges, that's definitely something to be looked at for sure. maybe see who's doing the admissions and stuff, and if they have any bias.
Oh yeah, they definitely are corrupted. Like the
Yeah.
heads of the departments are owned by corporate entities. Really, they're all corporate funded. Out
Yeah.
here, it's the oil and gas and the chemical industries, and the medical also. But because the school I went to was famous as being a good nursing school, and I could tell you, I let them know I was disappointed with the way that they've handled themselves the past 3 years, going along with all this crap. I
Yeah.
lost a lot of respect for my school.
You can step outside the medical community. There are what the wellness company right now. I think it's running in Canada and the U.S. and they're more of a holistic type method of medicine, and they're offering ways to help people get off of a lot of the medications they're on. So those are some things to look in for people. It costs money; you have to pay for it, but you guys have to pay for your insurance in the States anyway. I suppose I don't know if you'd have to pay extra or not, but they might even be covered under your system. I'm not sure.
I don't have any. I haven't had it for a whole adult life.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really
But
need
if I
a
had the
doctor, but I'm going to sign up to it anyways and pay their subscription because they have great supplements and you can get deals on their supplements with joining, and you also get access to doctors and diagnostics and stuff like that if you need it.
Like as far as something like say dentistry, if I had the money and the means, I would seriously look into going down to Mexico to get services done instead of here.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, a
what
lot of people are getting
doing
coral
here.
put in. I still have a feeling that it'll come out eventually, I hope. But yeah, all my fillings fell out, and I just left them out because when they're in there, they hurt. It's like they're a tuning fork for energy. You can get them replaced with coral and other things. There's other things you can get put in there if you want to.
Yeah, I think I find it funny that dentists have like a high suicide rate apparently too.
Yeah.
Weird. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that. I suppose it's kind of a depressing job, because you're putting people in pain on a constant basis.
I don't see how they do it.
A dentist is the highest suicide rate in dentists.
Yep.
It's one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, never heard about that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's always been the way since I was a kid. Yeah. They have the highest suicide rate.
Interesting.
Well, you think about it. Your day consists of scaring kids, hurting kids, hurting adults, causing pain. Digging into disgusting-looking teeth. I wonder if it could be the gases too, because there's a lot of bad stuff that comes out of bad teeth, like smells and stuff. I don't know if that could affect your brain. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff. All the chemicals they use, radiation.
Well, that's the thing, Oh yeah, radiation. But they brainwash about the fluoride is good for you. I went in discussion with dentists a lot of times. I thought, oh yeah, it's so good for you. Why is it the main ingredient in rat poison? They couldn't answer. Then I thought, why they use it in the drink water in Nazi camp? They didn't know. They couldn't answer.
Yeah.
I changed the dentist. I like, screw you. I get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Even the dentist, I don't know what I would do. I haven't gone to a dentist in a long time. I don't really want to. So.
I'm going to one, I think, next week. Well,
Oh, yeah.
I don't go to normally. I have been to dentist since never. But due to what he broke, yeah. And I know him. He's very good because his father is a surgeon, and he can operate on you too. If you win in an accident with your face, he can operate and fix it. So he's very good in that.
That's cool. Hey, James Ortiz, good to see you.
Hey, James.
In the kitchen for a while. Well, I think I have to go and get some dinner soon. So I think we'll cut it off here. This was an awesome talk, guys. I enjoyed having you up.
Yeah, man, that was awesome, Max. John, that's cool. Went on different topics.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you guys next weekend. Well, I should have my channel back then, so you can come to the regular channel. It'll be a little easier for me. I don't have to flip between screens.
Yeah, now I'm subbed at both. It's all good. Hopefully YouTube don't screw, with the notification shit. But
yeah, let's hope. All right, guys. Have a great week. Much love to you all. Keep your third eye open. Use your intelligence and your intuition. Bye-bye.